Sakura, Sky, and Loki.
Tonight, we're going to take it a little bit easier. Christmas is right around the corner, and we're all getting presents from Nintendo, Rockstar, LucasArts, and Ortale. Help us unwrap all the goodness contained within this episode of the show where every gamer has a voice.
Orange Lounge Radio.
Hello, my friends out there on the internet, and welcome back to another week of the show where every gamer has a voice. It is Orange Lounge Radio for this December the 22nd, 2013, episode number 532. My name is Rob Roberts, here to talk with you about video gaming, gaming culture, and the gamer lifestyle, and gamer, etc., with my co-hosts. Say hello first off to Dark Sakura or Jamie Summers.
I'm wearing my Charlie the Unicorn shirt tonight.
Shun the non-believer.
Well, you see what it says on the back?
What is it? It's the magical amulet. I don't remember that one.
The vortex out of his back.
It's
the magical amulet, Charlie.
It's literally been like 2 years since
I
I've
just
seen
watched
that YouTube.
it Friday because
Yeah.
Julian likes Charlie the Unicorn.
Julian, by the way, is a 6-year-old. 7-year-old?
Six.
6-year-old.
6.5.
6.5.
And you're welcome, Becky, if you're listening.
So, how are things going for you?
Actually, I am pretty happy today. I am officially down one whole jean size since I started my exercise and fitness program.
You have been on quite the little weight loss quest, and you've been very successful in that.
The numbers on the scale don't matter to me as much as, the inches I've gone down.
Sure, it's one thing to see the numbers on the scale. It's another to, like, put on a pair of pants that used to,
Yeah.
not fit, and then they do.
Well, because I'm also doing a lot of weightlifting.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing that happens when you lift weights is you actually do gain weight.
Mm.
But muscle burns more.
Right.
You boosts your metabolism more. I have to eat a lot more, which is great because I love to eat.
Who doesn't?
I actually had to increase my caloric intake by 200 calories.
Who doesn't? My work holiday party went out for spaghetti, and I was like, I can't think of a better food right this time of year. Spaghetti is the best.
Well, anyway, I actually just weighed in today, and I have lost 21 pounds.
Congrats.
Since the beginning of October.
Congrats.
And I have lost roughly about 2 to 3 inches all around.
Great.
And I'm down a jean size, and I'm going to start doing DDR once a week again.
So you were posting in the VOG forums about this stuff, trying to get
Yes.
others to join you or whatever, right?
I have an account on Nerd Fitness, and I linked my account on the VOG forums, but I would actually, because people coming on the new year really think, I'm going to do it this time, and then they go, no. Well, I am here to be everybody's life coach. I actually want to do something with everybody.
Don't worry. Jamie will fix it.
No.
Work harder.
I
Lift more. Eat less.
actually really would like to encourage, and the whole reason, I'm not doing this for the weight or anything, even though that was part of it. What I'm doing this for is because I actually feel a lot better. I have a lot more energy. I don't have as bad fatigue problems as I used to. I don't get sick as often.
Since this is a video game show and you mentioned that you wanted to pick up a DDR habit again once a week, do you believe that the exer gaming and the exercise, the fitness gaming and all that, do you believe that really can help a person turn around?
I do, and I'm going to tell you why DDR I think is better. Because I've been studying, most of the time I do weightlifting, right? But there's another thing that they talk about that's called high-intensity interval training, which is pretty much what DDR kind of is. You work...
Of course, if you don't know what DDR is, Dance Dance Revolution, that game with the arrows and the floor mat, seen it.
The whole point is to push your hardest limit for like a minute, and then you spend 2 minutes doing it at a more normal pace. So in this case, it would be starting off with a 9-footer.
Right.
Doing 2 medium or easy songs.
But it would still be important that you're still kind of like walking in between your songs and kind of.
That's the point, is that you have, like, if you are the one playing the game and you have a 3 or 4 song game, your first one's going to be your hard one. Your next 3 are going to be your cooldowns. You do another game, hard one, 3 cooldowns, So that way you're getting your heart rate up for that high interval, and then you're relaxing, because the human body is meant to function. We're not meant to run and do long distance and do endurance things. We're meant to GTFO when there's an animal trying to bite us in the ass. So we are built for fight or flight. So playing DDR, and I was thinking about this, it was like this light bulb moment. Playing DDR is high intensity interval training. Okay. You play 5 games of DDR, you've done 25 minutes of exercise, roughly.
DDR itself's kind of on its way out, though. I mean,
but they're still everywhere.
I know we have a lot of longtime Bomani fans that it pains to hear that, but let's be real, y'all. It's not what it used to be. So, I mean, you just plan on playing the old versions, or, you're right. There's still arcade machines in many places.
I mean, you can play the old versions at home. I'm actually planning on modding a new dance pad again. But, I mean, I'd like to get to the arcade and get friends together and try to recapture some of the old fun, But I think in general, it's finding your exercise where you enjoy it.
Right.
Because, I mean, the reason why I like lifting weights is I like feeling stronger. I like being 5'2" and being able to lift an 80-pound weight over my head. That's just, and my goal is by my birthday of lifting 120 pounds.
Because soon that'll be a person that you can lift over your head and throw.
Exactly.
Right.
I mean, I can get an 80-pound weight over my head. It still work, but my goal is that by my birthday in April, I want to be deadlifting 120 pounds.
You should be able to pick up Julian at this point, right? At least. Yeah, Julian's
We went to the park because I babysat him on Friday.
I got to move on. Hurry.
Okay, but I carried him over my head and was like throwing him into the sand pit and everything. And I was in it, but it actually occurred to me.
You are named after the Bionic Woman after all.
This kid has gotten lighter to me because I have gotten stronger.
Nice.
So
all right.
I didn't mean to go off on it.
No, that's
yeah.
okay. It's good. I don't really have much of a kickoff topic tonight, so this is fun. We can have a little extended hellos with everybody. But we do want to move on and introduce our other co-host who's been sitting there patiently waiting to be introduced. Joining us via Skype tonight, everybody, say hello to Techmaster Loki.
Yes, I'm at home.
Hey, how you doing, Loki?
I'm doing fine.
You were too lazy to come to the show tonight. You were going to stay home and gain weight. No, I'm just kidding. Of course I'm kidding. Guys, Loki's going to be joining us over Skype for the next few weeks. And Loki, do you want to elaborate on our special little arrangement?
Oh, yeah. It's basically my wife, we're getting very close to the end of her pregnancy. And so because third pregnancies can happen a lot quicker than the previous ones, I have to be ready to go.
Right.
So, it's easier if I'm at home versus, 15 minutes away to be able to get to wherever I need to go.
Makes sense.
Not that I will probably have to do that, but just have to be prepared.
Right, yeah, you never know. I mean, when the baby's coming, you may have to leave mid-show, and then we'll just deal with it. It is what it is.
You might end up having to deliver.
But well, I was joking with you before we went live tonight. I was kind of hoping a little bit that, maybe you would get a Christmas baby or a New Year's baby, or have that baby in the newspaper, first baby born in 2014, and that whole type of thing. And you were like, no.
Nah, it's probably not going to happen. It's she's due at the end of January, but he's measuring 2 weeks ahead, and I think Josh was born at 37 weeks, so it's probably going to be like the first or second week in January. I think she's saying maybe 2 more weeks, and it'll be born.
Well, you're being an awful, as they say in chat room. Of course, we do tape live every Sunday night at the Voice of Geeks Network, vognetwork.com, 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 o'clock Eastern, right after the Bobby Blackwolf Show. And you can join us in chat if you are listening live at live.vognetwork.com. Travis Donovan, our buddy from Under Sedation Live, kicking off Loki Baby Watch 2013. Dun, dun, dun. Although ActF corrects him and says it could be 2014. So 2013 to 2014.
And we already have the name picked out, although I can't say what it is yet.
Of course.
The middle name does kind of tie into a video game.
Ooh, all right.
A video game I don't play, but it's still a video game. And
interesting.
And she asked me, she's all, so how should we spell that? And so I spelled it out very specifically to be like the video game.
Alan Alchemy.
Strider Hiryu is the middle name.
Alan Alchemy in our chat room. I love this. Alan Alchemy says, Nelly control. That's the wife, of course. Nelly control Loki now. The baby is here. LOL, JK, I needed you to get off Skype. I can't handle your Nintendo rants when they're happening where I can hear them. Now go get me Chipotle. Odds of that happening?
Pretty slim.
All right.
Yeah, she's out of the house until 8 o'clock. That's usually she goes to her mom's house and takes Josh with her. So
there you go.
I have at least a couple hours with them gone.
There you go. So, the thing is, though, of course, I think part of the charm of Orange Lounge Radio and the way we've done things for the past, what year are we on now? 12? Is next year 12? I lost count. I've literally lost count.
June it will be 12.
Okay, next year, 2014 is year 12. So we've been on the air about 12 years. And I think part of the charm of the show and part of what makes our show a little different is the fact that we're all in the same room, usually. And, I realize there's 11 billion other podcasts that tape over Skype and do a great job over Skype. Shit, my other show, Horde House, done over Skype, and we have a great time over there. But, you know, if when it comes down to, all right, well, are we going to force everybody to be in the same room and make Loki take a month off from the show, or are we going to have him on Skype? I choose having him on Skype. So we'll deal with the Skype thing and have a little bit of a different chemistry over the next few weeks while we wait for Loki baby number 2 to be on the way.
And I had Kitty Cam going, but we had to shut off because of bandwidth reasons. She's sleeping anyway, so.
Yes, there was Kitty Cam earlier. We might do some type of cam in the coming weeks. I'm hoping there's going to be a new cable modem in studio in the coming weeks, and then we can look at maybe pumping out a little more with the bandwidth. But since we had some drops for live listeners in the past couple weeks, I gotta watch what's going in and out. So, all right. But, so Loki will be joining us over Skype, but it'll still be the same old, him doing his stories and talking about his gaming week in a moment. But first, I have to introduce here in studio. He hasn't gone anywhere. Well, he wasn't here last week, but he's been spending the majority of the holidays here with us at Orange Launch Radio. Say hello to the voice of the show, Mr. Jason, VX Jason XV, XYZ LMNOP.
I made it.
You made it.
I finally made it back.
How you doing?
Yay!
I am doing so much better than this time last week.
Well, you had that same plague that knocked a lot of us out.
Yeah, it was the Saturday prior to the show. No, that's impossible. I would have missed Sunday. Saturday was the worst of the two. Sunday I actually felt okay, but considering that we're jam-packed around this table when all 4 of us are here, I said, you know, whatever. I'm ancillary, and as much as I want to contribute, I'll pass because my voice was notably worse as well. I'm surprised.
You can kind of hear it in last week's intro.
Yeah,
just a little. Now that I've told you that, go back and listen to last week's intro and you'll hear it. Yeah. You probably didn't notice.
I pushed really hard to make sure it was clean the whole time. But the whole rest of the day, just my voice disappeared, and that was that.
I was sick on last week's show. I'm pretty sure I voiced that openly during the show last week. And what the weird thing is, though, I was really sick like Friday, Saturday, and then I was feeling a lot better Sunday, and I'm like, finally, I'm on the other side of this. But come Monday, oh my God.
Resurgence.
It's almost like I had 2 colds or something, because then Monday, Tuesday, I felt like crap. And now I feel great again.
I actually wound up... It's funny because I actually wanted to watch the show, but many of the live chatters may have noticed that I also didn't participate, and that would be because I wound up being on the phone for 10 hours with a customer. I was on the phone from...
That's so
what
crazy.
was it, 6 in the evening until 4 in the morning or something
so
like that?
Crazy.
It was kind of a crazy night.
But it wasn't like your angry customer. It
no,
was just
not even a little bit. And as I got off the phone, he was also lauding my efforts, which, you know, when you're on that almost euphoric high of this issue's finally over, and the fact that any customer can thank you profusely, it's a wonderful feeling.
So, I mentioned this on a previous episode of the show, but you've been hard at work on our latest endeavor into putting the shows on YouTube.
I have been.
To try and expand our audience a little more, and once again, thank you for that. And you've been doing. I noticed you've been doing a little more, and I realize there's a lot going on with YouTube, especially with gaming, and we'll get into that a little later in the news, and I'm sure y'all know what I'm talking about. But for the time being, we're just, we're still putting our videos on YouTube. Just like, we have been. And I notice every week you turn it up a little bit. You have something new to put in there every week.
I decided to take this on because I wanted more than just a static image. And I also really have been wanting to pick up these skills. So what better way than putting these two together? I haven't gone terribly crazy. Last week's 531's edits were I did a silly little thing with the cover art for the intro. The gaming week has been there for the last 2 or 3 episodes. The classic game of the week, rather, the video that we played in studio has been on stream for the past 3 episodes, I think. The 2 newer things that I did this time are that when you 3 were having this discussion about me last week, I put a little heart in the empty space in the top right hand side.
Little Easter eggs.
Just fun, tiny little thing. Left it up there for about 10 seconds. But what I'm also doing is I'm also putting the fortune cookie, a little clip of the fortune cookie of the week, as the end of the video. While the outro is playing, I put a clip of the fortune cookie message of the day there, so that we can start linking and have that reference for visitors as well.
Let me explain what that is real quick, because we have to remember there's a large base.
Podcast as well has not gotten any.
The podcast listeners are like, what's a fortune cookie thing? Like, because you remember, we have a huge audience that isn't here live.
I mention it sometimes.
Well, not huge. Let's not let's not kid ourselves.
We
But,
have
we have one sizable person who downloads the podcast.
There's a good chunk of listeners who are just on the podcast, and so what happens is that because we're part of a live radio network, VOG network. We're still kind of on air, so to speak, even when the show is done. So usually we sign out a little bit with, okay, so we're going to pull the plug now and go back to the music feed, but here's our last little goodbye. And so our fortune cookie message is always kind of like our sign-off message at the end of the night. And Jamie, for years and years, because we've been doing this for years.
I used to actually make up a fortune cookie message.
That's right. You used to, I think back in the days of OLR, you used to have like a little saying, and then it became a little more like, I guess, what you see on The Daily Show and The Moment of Zen and all that, when we were on All Games, and now that we're here on VOG, we just kind of would sign off with that. So, yeah.
I think my first one was, love is like wearing your pants on your face. It can make you a butthead.
Still so relevant to the day.
Wow, I know, right? Some things, some advice never changes, so... There you go.
You know what the best literal fortune I've ever seen was when Melody had? Great things will happen when you...
Oh, yeah. She got that cookie once that was, like, not finished.
Dan's got the best one, too. Every man has his enemies.
I got an X-rated one once because there used to be this restaurant up in Chico, because I went to school for 3 years up in Chico, California, which was an interesting time in my life, to say the least. But they have the best Mongolian barbecue place up there, the best I've ever had to this day.
You have to take me there.
And I hope they're still good, but I'll give a shout out, because at least 10 years ago, Hula's was the bomb up in Chico. I don't know if we have any listeners up there in Chico, but if you do, if we do, shout out. And that place is the bomb. And they don't anymore, but 10 years ago, you ask for the special fortunes or the pink fortunes, and they would bring you the X-rated cookies. And they would be things that say, like, double your pleasure, double your fun, fuck twins. Or once I got one that says, doesn't this cookie look like a cunt? Like, sorry, explicit tag. But this one time we were with a big group of people, like 12 people. We were all eating the fortunes. We had the special ones. Everybody's giggling. And they were like, what'd you get? What'd you get? And then when they came to me, they're like, Rob, what's your fortune say? What's your fortune say? And I'm like, I can't tell you, because you know what? You have to eat the cookie or the fortune doesn't come true. So I, taking my sweet-ass time, eating the cookie, enjoying every bite, really exaggerating it. Finally, I get to opening my fortune and reading it out loud. The fortune said, go fuck yourself. And everybody at the table is like scream laughing because...
all that effort.
I know, all that. And, of course, if I don't, eat the cookie first, it won't come true. So that was the best fortune I ever got, was the cookie that told me to go fuck myself. All right, anyhow.
Travis says, Rob proved you in the right to use the C word.
How am I supposed to prove that?
You know who, by the way...
If you're offended by my use of that, sorry, but a cookie said it first. Oh, I'm not supposed to say cookie. I'm sorry.
No one has ever said that word as great as Bette Midler. They called me all kinds of horrible things. It started with a C and ended with cunt.
Me no like cookie.
So anyway, now that we've learned our explicit tag.
Yes. While
I'm at it, vagina, balls, anus.
Okay. Wow. All right. It is a show
Happy holidays.
Believe it or not, it's a show about video games. So we are going to talk about video games. I actually don't really have much of a kickoff topic tonight, which is probably for the best.
I have one.
What?
I hate you.
Why do you hate me?
You're telling me about Frivolo.
Oh, the wine?
You and Victoria.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it! I drank a whole bottle of that shit, and then I went and bought 2 more today.
So Victoria's wine addiction, Jamie's wine addiction is the kickoff topic for tonight. There you go. She's got a problem. No, I was.
Yes, this is an intervention.
Yeah.
No, you can't have my Frivolo.
Your Frivolo is affecting your life negatively in the following ways. I was just going to ask kind of just generally, like, what are your guys' plans for the holiday week? And, are you going to be able to get a lot of gaming in or what? I know I'll probably be playing a lot of games throughout this week because I don't do a whole lot for the holidays. And, I have a huge
But would you say you don't have a ho lot?
Get the fuck out of my house.
Cool, he left his computer.
Bye. Yeah. Scram. That's what I thought. All right, anyway. Jamie, do you have anything going on this week? Games you're going to be catching up on or anything?
Well, I've been playing some Skullgirls, so I might play a little bit more of that. But Dan and I both took advantage of Steam sales and got the Angry Video Game Nerd game.
Oh, okay.
So that's on probably my list of new stuff to play.
I got to vote for the next game so I can get my card.
I voted already. I got my snow globe. You can't have it.
I definitely have the Stanley Parable I need to catch up on. I bought that in the last
That
sale.
game is the fucking shit.
Yeah, no, I know. I've heard a lot.
Love the Stanley Parable.
I've heard a lot of good things about it. Jason, anything you're going to plan on catching up on during the week? When do you go back to Colorado?
February.
Oh, shit. We're going to have you
completely serious.
We're going to have you well past the holidays, aren't we? Alrighty.
I will be here to shoe in the new year.
Nice.
And then some.
Mm-hmm. Any gaming that you plan to catch up on?
Oh. Not really.
Not really?
There's no TV in the apartment. We have a setup at the office, and I could do that, but nothing. There will be games, but no specific plans.
Okay. Loki, what about you? I know you're waiting for the baby, but
I don't know, maybe more Grand Theft Auto. I was supposed to play this weekend because they had like some multiplayer event, but didn't do anything there. And I've been playing Buy Things on Steam Sale, the game. So yeah, there's that.
Alrighty. So it sounds like everybody's just building up their backlog further of games to tackle
Every
into
sale.
the new year.
Every sale.
I came so close to getting a PlayStation 4 this week, you guys. And then finally I was just like, all right, but really, what are you going to play on it? So I have to wait until there's a couple more games on it, and then I'll buy it. But I was thinking I'd have that to play over the holidays, but looks like that didn't end up happening.
So, for the record, the community choice game is The Walking Dead.
Yes,
This
good
last one
pick.
that won.
I voted for Duke Nukem for the next sale because I want.
Ditto.
I want it when it's dirt
got
cheap.
it.
I know. I want it to be. Well, vote for it for me.
I own it too, but I still voted for it because hell yes.
I want that.
They have a multiplayer beta right now on it.
Ooh,
so-
the multiplayer's in beta.
Yeah, multiplayer's in beta, so you
Nice.
can actually play multiplayer if you want.
Nice. Excited about that. SSG100 Matt in chat says I actually bought La Mulana today. I missed that. I didn't see
Yeah,
that
I
was
bought
on
that
sale.
today.
That's a
too.
buck.
Damn it.
It was like $1, $2.
I missed it.
I think I bought it for Thanksgiving sale.
It'll probably show up on a daily
Easily,
sale later.
of course, absolutely. Put it in your wish list so you get notified next time.
I get a lot of mail about that. Anyway, all right, let's get into, we're kind of already talking about it a little bit, but let's talk about our gaming weeks, and specifically what video games have you been playing this week? What have you been into? What's been going on in your gaming world? Dark Sakura.
Well, let's see. I bought La Mulana today. I've been playing. I actually got back into Final Fantasy 14, but I completely forgot what the fuck I was doing. However, I did find I had another story quest to do, so that means I don't have to do my job quest for another few levels.
With that new patch now, it's like everything's changed. Because now you can do a daily dungeon to get XP. You can do guild tests to get XP. You can do the guild levs now give a reasonable amount of XP that you can do those as regular quests. It's the patch really changed a lot, which
Good.
and almost all of it's for the better.
Well, I've been, I played for a little bit, but for some reason, I was getting kind of stupidly motion sick. And I really am trying not to play too much more until my computer upgrade's finished. Because Dan decided to bust out our friend, the credit card, and buy new cases, new CPUs, new processors, new motherboards, USB adapters, and he's buying me a new sound card as well, so that the rest of our computers catch up to our bitchin' graphics cards. Seriously, it's like you have a graphics card that can handle a horde of 20,000 and a processor that can handle 10. So, yeah. Tired of my games choking up, so we've been sort of taking it, I've copied over so many things. And I know Steam Cloud will back up my saves, but I still want to, I've got all my Mass Effect stuff. I'm going to have to manually repatch my Mass Effect 3 for the high-res stuff because I don't want to have to go through I've got all the textures and everything saved, and good thing I know how to do that. But, if I'm going through all of this effort to upgrade my computer, I want everything that I play to still look awesome. So, that's really had me sort of slow down on some of my gaming.
I'm really jealous that you got a computer upgrade, though, because that's something I want to.
Yeah, but my computer's like 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah, well, mine's getting there, too. I bought mine when I was with my ex, so that was like 5 years ago.
Fries.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Dan found. Just talk to us later.
Alan did a really cool thing where online he used some website, and maybe he can say it in chat, but it's like a build your own PC site where you put in the components you want, and it shows you what stores have it for the cheapest price, so like how much your computer would cost overall. I think it's like build a PC or build it PC or something. He'll say it in chat here in a minute. Well, but he has like a computer for me saved on that site.
Well, I'll tell you what we often do, like at Fry's, and I know Fry's isn't everywhere, but we have a little app called Shop Savvy that's for iPhone, Android, everything, where you scan the barcode on whatever component it is that you want, and since Fry's has to price match, that's their policy, you can use the Shop Savvy app and have them check it. And so they'll still give you whatever the lowest price you find on it is, so you don't have to really go much of anywhere else.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, it's Shop Savvy. Everybody use it. I bought my copy of Battle Royale. Instead of paying $20 at Best Buy, I paid $10. I bought my Mass Effect 3 for $30 when it was still going for 50-something. So, on the PC. So I'm just saying.
PCPartPicker.com.
That is the website. Thank you. Mako said it, and then Alan confirmed it there. PC Part Picker. That is the site.
But other than that, I've been playing Animal Crossing and playing Zelda.
Awesome.
I can't get past the stupid fucking worm shit in the second fucking level. God damn it.
You'll get there.
Well, it's like, and the same thing happened in The Link to the Past to me when I was 14, 15, something. And so it took me 2 hours to beat it on that one, and I don't want it to take me that long because, damn it, it's the 2010 era, and I have no patience. I want my gratification. Give it to me. So I turned off the game and drank half a bottle of wine.
Works for me. All right, Loki, how was your gaming week? Did Loki walk away? Loki, are you on mute? The wonders.
How's that? Just a sec.
Oh, okay. The wonders.
Baby's coming. Everybody, show's over.
The wonders of doing a show on Skype. All right, Jason, why don't I just go to you while we wait for Loki?
I just bought the You Don't Know Jack Classic Pack for $5.
Did you
Thank
really?
Thank you, ActDeft. I seriously did. And I can play none of them until I figure out how to work out a Windows box for my deluge of games that I cannot play natively. Speaking of Windows and not being able to play natively, not exactly gaming, but I got a new-to-me laptop this week that is a Retina MacBook Pro. It's kind of amazing. It's very funny when websites and programs' graphics are... where you can really start to tell when they cheaped out on saving the graphics, because you look at the text, it's beautiful. You look at everything else, it's terrible and smudgy, and it's really hilarious. I am enjoying this laptop so far, and it's so much lighter. Oh my god, I can't even put it into words, even though I just did. I played a bit more Papers, Please this week. A little bit more.
I've heard a lot of great things about that game.
It is insanely fun.
It's like on my list
for something. It's so frustrating, and you definitely get the demerit, the violation kind of being on edge if you got a violation or not. But it's, for whatever reason, really, really fun. And I just cleared it for the first time. I have a screenshot up on Steam. I need to go back and start doing it via other methods. I won't say which ending I got or which other ones, because they are all incredibly meaningful, so I'm just going to skip that outright. If you're my friend on Steam, go look it up. You'll figure it out. Codeman sent me Surgeon Simulator as a gift, and that game is... I've been wanting to play it since I've seen videos. I am hilariously bad at it, and I think everybody is.
I think everybody is, yeah.
It's so much fun. And I picked up Electronic Superjoy for $1.50. Woo! Still need to play it. So, anyways, the real meaning for one is this week I bought an Xbox One and PS4 controller. I have not bought the systems. They are here in my hands.
They
right
are
now.
here in studio. He brought them in here and he said, "Look what I bought!" And he handed me the PlayStation 4 controller.
Where's the consoles?
And I was like,
I
"You
just
bought
controllers?"
I'm like, "You bought both consoles?" He's like, "No, just controllers." I'm like, "You're so weird, Jason."
For some reason, I thought that I heard both controllers work natively with computers. That's not the case. As I also recently learned, and I posted this picture to Twitter, the Xbox One controller uses Wi-Fi. And for that reason alone, game controllers via Wi-Fi on a computer are not a thing by default. That said, the PS4 controller works over USB and Bluetooth. when I first got it, I tried using Steam's Big Picture and playing games. It was being fussy. It wasn't working. Rogue Legacy control scheme was really, really fucked up. I wanted to have a second swing of it last night when preparing a little bit for the show, and I managed to bind everything in Steam Big Picture mode, which then affected Rogue Legacy.
Nice.
And so I was playing Rogue Legacy for like 2 hours last night with a controller, and it worked incredibly well.
Big Picture mode is good times. I think when I finally do get a new computer, I'll use the old one on the TV. It'll be fun. Yeah,
it works exceedingly well in lieu of like the Steam machine controller. But
Black Wolf in our chat room at live.vognetwork.com saying to you, Jason, they said they would work eventually.
Yeah, they'll be on Windows eventually, and then somebody will do a third-party one for the Mac. Yeah, it'll happen next year. A bit disappointing that I can't use it already. It's interesting. The Xbox One controller has the right heft, and the PS4's triggers, L2 and R2, don't feel quite right. But when I actually, and that was my initial reaction when I actually sat down and played the game, it didn't make a difference. They both worked, tactile, responsive, felt right. The Xbox One's D-pad is so much better. Even better than the Xbox 360 Pro controller. My God.
100 times yes.
The Xbox One controller is so clicky in like the best way though.
Maybe I just have fat thumbs, but when I do like let's say I'm doing a Hadouken move on the little control pad there, my thumb like bumps the other thumbstick. That's the only little problem I have. Maybe I just have big thumbs.
You know what they say about guys with big thumbs?
Yeah, big gloves.
Thank you for beating me to it.
I saw... So, yeah, the PS4 controller is working well. I really do look forward to trying out the Xbox One controller. I like to put both of them to use. Funny story, I actually did this exact same thing with the original Xbox. I didn't like the S controllers. And so I went out and bought the original full-size fatty Xbox controller for myself.
Those wired 360 controllers, though, made bomb... And still do, like PC controllers.
Yeah,
like
and
just
that's exactly why I bought them.
That's what I'm using.
They are the best gamepad you can get.
Me too.
I'm very happy with this PS4 controller so far. Much more than my Logitech something.
Going to the chat room, live.vognetwork.com. Tiger Claw with another theory. Jason basically bought those controllers so he can get a handle on how they feel and practice using them when he gets either of the consoles.
It's okay. I'm still going to suck at all the games, especially if I play it against other people that actually own it. But I appreciate console gamepads, and I'm happy with them.
All right, so...
I like that you can push the little touchpad.
Yeah, I don't know how many people know this, but the touchpad is actually a button. The touchpad doesn't work on a computer, but the fact that it is a button and can be depressed does actually work.
It may work on a computer someday.
Yeah, eventually. Yeah. Out of the box, yeah. Saw a new game that will be out next year that is in the show roll, so I'll leave it for later, but it... I would have screamed loudly in enthusiasm had there not been another housemate in the apartment that I'm staying in, and also in an apartment.
You would have shrieked.
I would have. I would have nerd shrieked, nerdgasmed, and nerd other expletives that I will leave for your imagination.
All right. On that note, I think Loki's back. Hi, Loki.
Sorry about that. Yeah, my mom called me.
That's all right. She never calls you when you're here.
No, she doesn't. She can't find my sister, but not my problem right now.
All right. Well, I hope they find her. Did they
Yeah, I
check
hope
behind
so.
the couch?
Maybe.
All right. How was your gaming week, Loki?
I played a little bit of Just Cause multiplayer. Actually, now that it's launched officially, I checked out some of the servers on there. I picked just a random one and playing it a little bit. So it's pretty fun. They had all their weapons and purchasables free, so that was kind of neat. And then I played a little bit of Saints Row 4. I mentioned before that I had bought the season pass for DLC when it was on sale, and so I got a chance to finally play through Enter the Dominatrix, which was, as expected, incredibly short. And unfortunately, the whole joke that they were trying to go with it, the whole mockumentary thing, just wasn't very funny. And thank God they didn't ever release Enter the Dominatrix as a full game, because it would have been fucking terrible. And in fact, the whole thing, there was only one time that I laughed in it, which was at the very end of the game where you friend these raptors, and so you're riding the raptors out of the simulation while they're singing this song of their people, which is "Walk the Dinosaur." So that was kind of funny.
That's
but
funny.
the rest of it just wasn't funny at all.
That's unfortunate to hear. It's not that funny because, like, I associate Saints Row with like one of the funniest games I've played.
They tried to do some stuff that's supposed to be funny, like, you know, some of the cut scenes were animatics and, like, literally some dude holding an action figure and doing something, and, like, I don't know, I guess that was supposed to be funny, but it just wasn't funny. It's like they were trying too hard.
Fair enough.
And then I bought lots of things. I really wasn't going to spend a ton of money on the Steam sale, but...
That's what they all say, Loki. That's what they all say.
So, let's see what I picked up here. The Orange Box, because surprisingly enough, I didn't have that. Noidu Love 2 Devolution, which is kind of like a sprite-based shooter. Retrograde, which is kind of a space shooter / rhythm game. Which is kind of neat. The whole game plays backwards, and so you basically have to move where bullets came from, and it goes with the music. Then there's Ballpoint Universe Infinite, which is this hand-drawn game. And Blockland, which is very much like Minecraft, but it actually looks like Legos, so that's kind of neat. And they have like a whole like deathmatch thing with that as well. Final Fantasy VII, and then of course Cody got me the Stanley Parable, so that was pretty sweet. And then today I had to pick up La Mulana because it's down to like $1 something.
Can't believe I missed it. So upset. So you are
you can
ODing on games.
catch the yesterday sales though. They repost them.
Oh, wasn't that a flash sale?
I don't know.
It was a flash sale,
It
yeah.
was?
It'll come up again. I'm not worried about it.
So yeah, pretty much that, and then I don't think I actually played any Grand Theft Auto Online. They've been doing some mass bannings. Thankfully, I didn't get caught up in that.
Phew.
But so that's it. Just trying to get through the DLC stuff for Saints Row 4 since my save got pretty much eradicated, and so I've been kind of running through that real fast. And I still haven't unlocked the Christmas DLC because that's later on in the game. So once I get to that, I'll talk about that. At least, hopefully, that has the potential to be a little bit funnier than this last one.
Alrighty. Getting into my gaming week, talking about some games I've played before, and I've talked about before. More Final Fantasy XIV, loving the new patch, being able to level up an alternate job class much better than just fate partying to death, so that's amazing. I love it. And thank you to generous listeners, by the way. I know some folks have mentioned Codeman got them games. Codeman got me a game too. X-Link was kind enough to get me a game too, so I just want to thank the listeners. You guys really don't have to.
Speaking
thank
of
you so
generous
much.
listener, did you see in chat what Dark Tetsuya said?
Dark Tetsuya says, Rob, if you want it, you can have my Steam key. Oh my God, what a nice... Yes, I want it, actually. Thank you. That's amazing. Thank you so much. I can pay you in doggy coins. Or is it Doge? I don't know. How do you say the DOGE?
Dog.
Is it just dog coins?
Dog.
I say doggy.
Just dog.
It's dog.
Just
Okay.
dog.
I have not gotten it. Okay, Tangent Train, choo choo choo. I have not really gotten into any of this virtual currency crap. Like, I've heard of like Bitcoin, and I know people are into it. But then, like, okay, so you know Matt that was on the show a couple weeks ago? Like, we're friends. He's on Facebook, and he made all these posts about doggy coin. And you know that meme. It is a really funny meme. You know, the wow, such impress, many excite, wow. You know, that whole thing. And so I just started going link, and I read all this stuff on it. And suddenly I'm like mining coins and getting all this stuff. So I have doggy coins. So I can pay you.
Dog.
I can pay you for La Mulana and doggy coins if you want Dark Tetsuya. Just get a wallet for it. So anyway, sorry, that was like a totally random tangent, but that was taking up, like, that was insomnia night. Much insomnia. Such clicking links. Wow.
I call it dog.
Dog?
Yeah.
I think doggy. Is there a correct way to pronounce it? That's what I want to know.
My understanding of it is that it's born out of Homestar Runner.
Is
Where
it?
And I don't know why letters were why like the spelling DOGE was introduced, but Homestar Runner was making fun of people calling each other dog. And so he kind of drawed out dog and spelled it DOGE, presumably like a animation caption. I need to go see the episode, but
Sorry,
that's
Just
where
to
I've
read
heard it from.
the thing going through from several people.
Yeah.
Dog Lounge Radio, such audio, many commentary, very podcast.
You have to such audio, many commentary, very podcast.
There were BuzzFeed put a
Wow.
bunch of those up, by the way, about different
Well,
political
BuzzFeed
things.
likes to jack everything.
Yeah, but
and write an
I
article
thought
about it.
I laughed my ass off.
Have you seen, there's a great Tumblr. It's BuzzFeed without GIFs. So it's it's just the writing, so you can see how fucking awful it is. Anyway, sorry. Total train derailment. Let's go back to my games. All right.
Choo-choo.
Thank you to the generous listeners. That turned into Doggy Coin. So thank you to the generous listeners. Stuff I've been playing in the meantime, though. Still Zelda. I got into Minecraft again randomly this week on Xbox, and it was
Very pixel.
It was
much pick.
creepy crawlers. Wow. So like Black Wolf made a one-off comment on it while we were playing Final Fantasy XIV, because he won't admit it, y'all, but Bobby Blackwolf got addicted to Final Fantasy XIV in the past week and has had my help in clearing some of the early game stuff. But he brought up Minecraft randomly, and I was like, I'm going to go play Minecraft on 360, which had been the first time I touched it in a long time. And then that exact same day, they released Minecraft for the PlayStation 3. And so I was like, I kind of want to get it. But like, Rob, you couldn't even finish your house in Minecraft PC. Why would you get Minecraft PlayStation 3? I don't know. I have to have it. Loki, did you see Minecraft on PS3?
I didn't really, because I was gonna buy it, but then they basically said it's exactly the same as the Xbox 360 one. So I was like, I don't really need it.
Interesting. I don't know. I might.
If it was, like the maps were bigger or there's more features or something, maybe. But
Yeah.
I guess that's all for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
But trophies, Loki. I wonder if it'll have cross-buy, or if you buy it on PlayStation 3, you get it on PlayStation 4.
But the trophies are exactly the same as the last one. I mean, I don't know.
Cross-buy would be really interesting, because wouldn't that make like the first portable version of Minecraft?
Other than
iPhone.
Minecraft Portable?
iPhone, iPod,
Oh,
all
I
that.
forgot that existed.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. Well, it would be the first tactile, and like for as many buttons as that game has the potential of using and whatnot, that would make a Vita would be a good potential.
Vita, it would be a lot of fun on the Vita. So I'm looking. I mean, I know that's something they're making. Not even just remote
technically,
play.
it's supposed to have controller support. I mean, the portable version. I mean, they had a version with controller support for the Sony Ericsson Play.
Because everybody's going to be playing it on that.
All right. Anyway, let me get to the game I really wanted to talk about, because that was all a bunch of old stuff. Let me talk about the new game this week, and a lot of people talking about this game, and I've been playing an awful lot of this game as well. So we're going to talk about Nintendo Direct in a little bit and some of the stuff that they announced this week, because Nintendo kind of was the big news maker this week, because they actually did a Direct with some new news. And one of the games that they teased during this Nintendo Direct
New news?
was this surprise NES Remix, a brand new game that they put out on the eShop for $15. And of course, the minute I saw the trailer, I was like, such retro games, many pixels, wow. And I bought it, right? So I had to just go immediately to the store and buy it. Because, it tickled my retro bone, and I love that sounds kind of dirty, actually. But, I just love those retro games and collections, so I went immediately to the shop and bought it.
Did you have a retro boner?
I might have a little bit, actually. So and it was a very Beyonce thing, because it said it's on the eShop right now, which was really spectacular when you consider that they went to the VGX thing the week before and decided to talk about
nothing about
said
it.
nothing about it. It was like, we got Cranky Kong, and that's all I'm going to tell you, Jeff Keighley. And they do a Nintendo Direct days later with like actual news. Fantastic.
Didn't we say that was exactly what was going to happen, though? That they were going to give another outlet nothing and still rely on their own outlets for doing this?
I don't know if we really had said that, but I was kind of surprised that, like, 1 week, Jason, it was 1 week later. They knew all this other stuff, and they purposely held on to it for their own Direct for whatever reason.
They have a captive audience, and they're going to keep. They're going to make that their point.
Yeah. So, okay, I want to talk about NES Remix, though, because I bought the game, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen this. Many people have been comparing it to WarioWare, which it's kind of an iffy comparison to me, because WarioWare is very fast-paced, and the 8-bit levels and things in that were very, it was like push button, dodge. It was like one quick little thing, because that's how WarioWare was, whereas NES Remix is more little bite-sized samples. It's like It's like the Halloween bag full of the mini Snickers bars and full of the
It's
mini...
fun sized.
Yes, it's like one of those fun-sized Halloween bags. They're not micro games, but it's just enough of a taste of some of the retro games, right?
Although I have never put one of those things in my mouth and said, wow, I'm having fun.
But here's the problem with NES Remix that I have, is that because it's a bag of all the little mini candies... Unfortunately, some of the games they included are like the Hershey's Dark Chocolates, where it's like, I don't want that shit.
Hey, those are the best.
Well,
Give
they're
them to
all
me.
yours. If you enjoy Golf, Wrecking Crew, Urban Champion, those little candy bars are all you, girl. Enjoy. But I'm going to guess there's probably not a lot of fans out there of some of the games that they included in the collection, which, all right. I mean, that's the one thing that kind of, because you start with, I think, 6 games, and then you unlock others. And some of them you go, oh, yay, I got Legend of Zelda. Yay, that's a great one. And then it's like, oh, I got Golf. Well, I won't be playing that one. I mean, really, who likes NES Golf anymore? There's a million better golf simulations out there now. Maybe at the time it was a fun game for, golf fans, but now it's painful to go back and play, I think is part of the issue. So you're playing little portions of these games, so maybe it's like get from point A to B, and it's like Loki, all right over there? Easy. All right, I don't know, maybe I'm hoping they found his sister or whatever that was. All right, anyway, so...
That was the GPS bell. Oh, we found her.
Many rings, such distracting. So you what was the one I was playing right before the show started? It was 3 Super Mario Brothers levels, and it was break the block that has the vine in it. Mm-hmm. And it was the levels really quick.
Find the hidden vine block.
But some of them, are hidden over piranha plants and things where you might die. So, it has a little bit of challenge. So the little bite-sized games, it actually works because I think the way a lot of us approach retro games is that we don't necessarily want to play these retro games start to finish, especially it's the way many people feel about like Ice Climber or Clue Land. They don't really need to play those games start to finish. In the case of Ice Climber, you just need to play like 15 seconds of the game to remember like, oh yeah, I remember Ice Climber. Fuck, I hate the physics in this game. Right? And that's kind of enough to remind you of the game, and that's good enough. So there's that to get out of it. The remix stages, some of them are actually really cool. Like there's one where you play Super Luigi Brothers or whatever, where you run World 1, 2, and it's backwards. And some stages where the camera will consistently zoom in on your character or zoom out. Mario Brothers, like original Mario Brothers levels that scroll, even though... The original Mario Brothers, not Super Mario Brothers, but original Mario Brothers was a static screen. So they do some neat things. And in playing those levels, I really realized, like, wow, Virtual Console really pisses me off. Because you see them doing all these neat little things with the retro games. Like, even in, like, some of the Mario Brothers stages, or Super Mario Brothers stages, they add, like, little sunset backgrounds and some neat little things. It kind of really makes you go, like...
Very anger, much rage?
Yes. Why won't they take this effort with Virtual Console?
It's basically the same kind of changes from Mario 1, 2, and 3 NES to Super Mario All-Stars 1, 2, and 3.
I'm going to be honest.
More functional maybe, but similar.
The more I played NES Remix, the more frustrated I got with just everything. And I know that's going to sound like the weirdest review in the world, but I'm just being honest, you guys. As a gamer fan, as a retro game fan, the longer I played NES Remix, the more angry I got at Nintendo. And part of it was that all the games that are included in NES Remix are just games that are available on the eShop. So the whole thing is just, in some ways ads for the games that are on Virtual Console.
Did you like the part where you can actually link to the part in the eShop where you can purchase all those games?
Yes, because it's so adorable, because you hit the button and a little Zelda screen that comes up that says, buy something, will ya? Oh, that's so cute. But it's not to buy like extra levels in NES Remix. It's to take you to the eShop to buy the Virtual Console games. I don't know. NES Remix left me feeling very conflicted. I liked a lot of the things they tried to do with it, but as the game went on, my patience for some of the NES classics, using the term loosely, in the Hershey's Dark Chocolate games, if you will, were starting to wear thin on me a little bit. And I don't I don't know, like I only am playing it now to see what the different remix levels are. But when I unlock a remix level that's like, play golf and get a hole in 2 in the rain, I'm like, go fuck yourself. I don't feel like playing that. Luckily, you can skip stages and stuff, but I don't know.
I thought when I originally, saw the headline for that, I was like, oh, look, they're doing a legitimate version of Super Mario Brothers crossover. But then it was, like WarioWare.
But I don't know. It's a little more than WarioWare to me. Because WarioWare, again, is hitting one button or doing one thing. The NES Remix is more bite-sized chunks. But it kind of serves as a big advertisement for Virtual Console. I don't know. Go look at our chat room at live.vognetwork.com. Let's see. Dark Tetsuya says, does NES Remix do leaderboards or anything? No. But it does have Miiverse integration. And when you see posts from either strangers or your friends, it will show what their time was when they made the post. So I don't know why there's not leaderboards in there, because they obviously are tracking the times. But
because it'd look really terrible if you bought that game and you're like, hey, I'm gonna go buy one of these Virtual Console games. What? No leaderboard for this game? The hell?
Black Wolf says the main thing you need to know is that Retro Game Challenge for DS is awesome, and it's the same people. That's a very good point. It is the same people that made Retro Game Challenge for the DS. I would have rather just had that on the Wii U, or like a new version of that on the Wii U with like new games or Super Nintendo games or something. I would love that. So, but that's not what it is. So I don't know. My feedback on NES Remix is mixed. It's truly a mixed review. Like, if you really like retro NES games and you're willing to stomach some of it, and $15 doesn't seem too high of a price for you, then I say go ahead and go for it. But just realize when you play it, you're going to get a little disappointed that you've spent money on other Virtual Console titles, and yet NES Remix does more in some of its bite-sized chunks that Virtual Console refuses, and I think that's the best word to use, Nintendo refuses to do with Virtual Console. They refuse to innovate it. Because I'm left to believe that is it's not that they can't, it's not that they won't, they refuse, because NES Remix shows that they can do more with it.
Is that any different from any other publishers, consoles, classic game revivals?
Well, sure. Like Capcom Arcade Cabinet's pretty cool. You can do multiplayer online, and you can do the replays that save and the top high scores. You can look at the little playthroughs, and you have the HD graphics filters, and that's all pretty cool. And that's just the first collection that came off the top of my head.
Because I haven't played a revival set in a very long time, but I'm thinking back to like PS2, like the Midway arcade classics and all that kind of stuff, the various Namco collections. But that was on the PlayStation 2, where a lot of this integration isn't exactly possible, mostly network-based and friends and community and all that kind of stuff. Modern consoles that do have that information, okay, I agree. That makes sense.
Jason, what did you saw me playing NES Remix for a little bit. I know you didn't get to touch it yourself, but certainly you're familiar with the Nintendo classics. What
if you wanted to touch it, Rob?
Well, he can. I'll go get the tablet now, and he can play. Which, by the way, also interesting to note, tablet does nothing it's just a second screen, like many of the Wii U games of late. Just an interesting observation. But anyway, Jason, you were watching me play. Any just thoughts from watching? I know you didn't get to touch, but just...
I live for those kind of games. I was backseat gaming the whole time Rob was playing. It's like, you could have just dodged it. He was playing classic Mario Brothers, with the three layers, and you have to hit the block hit the block with an enemy on it to like flip the turtle upside down, hit the monkey red demon things twice, all that kind of stuff. And I was like, you could have just gone up a level temporarily in order to dodge that fireball. I was backseat gaming the whole freaking time. I live for that kind of game. If I had a Wii U, I would get that in a heartbeat. It was very fun. It was very fun looking. It looked like it controlled well. That is with regard to how the game played originally. It was not improved, which is kind of a good thing, because it was meant to be something specific. It was the most prominent parts of all of the games that you played, which is exactly the same for every single hole in golf. But the bits of Zelda where you pick up the Triforce, dodging enemies to go get the magic sword, the white sword that you picked up. It looked commendable. It looked really fun, and not only the games by themselves, but those remix levels looked outstandingly fun. Just I likened it to Dance Master mode in DDRs since Extreme US. Just subtle little variations on existing content to come up with something brand new. It looked fun. I would not mind playing that.
You'd pay $15 for it?
That's really hard to say right now. I definitely would to try it out. Would I feel like it was still worth it afterwards? I have no idea. I didn't touch it. I just watched. But it looked fun.
All right, fair enough. Show where every gamer has a voice. What do you guys think about NES Remix? Tell us in our chat room, live.vognetwork.com, or if you've played the game, maybe you disagree with some of the things I've said. Maybe you're overwhelmingly positive or overwhelmingly negative. Some of the websites out there ran very negative reviews of the game this week.
I'd like to try it.
And I want to say again, I'm leaving it with a mixed review because there was elements of what Jason's saying that I like too. And, again, I think some of these games are best experienced in bite sizes, but I don't know. There is some inherent frustration that came from this game as well, and it is what it is. Take it or leave it. Anyway, we need to move on with the show and get into some of the other news. Let me talk quickly about housekeeping. We will be here next week. We aren't planning on taking time off for the holidays just because Sundays fall on pretty good days this year where we can do shows uninterrupted. So we will be here next week. Please follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/OLR. Also on Facebook, facebook.com/Orange Lounge Radio. We're on Google Plus as well, google.com/plus Orange Lounge Radio.
Even if they're being bastards.
Yeah, we'll get into that later. I also want to give a plug for this real quick because I think tomorrow is the last day that you can nominate for, no, I think it's today actually, is the last day you can nominate for the Stitcher Awards. So maybe this won't do anything for our podcast listeners, but for our live listeners, would love it if you would head on over to the Stitcher website and nominate us for Best Games and Hobbies Podcast. Would really, really appreciate that. And your nominations go a long way in helping us get recognized. And remember, it's not that like we're sitting here going, we deserve to get all these awards. No. We just realized that as an independently produced show, the exposure that comes with even getting nominated is invaluable. That's more what we're going for.
Help us be exposed.
To get the word of mouth. Yeah, help us expose ourselves all over the internet. Would really appreciate that. All right. And then I know some other VOG shows definitely worthy of nomination. Some of you guys have been nominating Bobby one day and us one day. That's cool. I know Understation Live wants to do most original, and I think that's perfect for them. It's great. I hope they get that. And certainly, there's other like TV and entertainment categories where, Critical Myth, Pod Culture, British Invaders will all be great choices and so on. So, there you go. And yes, SSG100 Matt says nominate and give all the VOG shows a nice review on Stitcher. Yes, and thank you, SSG100 Matt. I saw your review on Stitcher this week, and thank you. That was great. So those reviews really, really help. So I really appreciate it. And thanks to everybody at Stitcher and everywhere that's listening to podcasts for supporting the show. Really appreciate it. I hope you're having a good time listening and participating with our show. Let's get into some news. Loki's going to start us off.
Okay, so this was kind of unexpected when they were talking about games coming out during the whole Nintendo Direct. It's a new Zelda game, not exactly the Zelda game you might have been looking forward to, but it's a new one. And it's being dubbed right now Hyrule Warriors. It's basically a spin-off of the Dynasty Warriors or Samurai Warriors series. And it's just like that, but now set in Hyrule. You play Link. And it's got all the different enemies and stuff from the series, and the same kind of gameplay you expect from like a Dynasty Warrior games. And it's supposed to come out sometime in 2014 for the Wii U.
What do you think about this?
I think it looks neat. I mean, I think they would be a little bit more successful if it was compared to like Monster Hunter, because some of the screenshots, especially where they were going up against like some of the boss monsters and stuff, it reminded me a little bit of Monster Hunter. So I don't know, it looks neat. More than one Zelda game in a year is always good.
Yet another thing VGX was snubbed for from Nintendo. We were just talking about it.
Yeah. I think it's interesting that we have another game where Nintendo is allowed a third party, one of their big franchises. I mean, granted, it's a spin-off game and not a main game, which, we know Team Ninja and Metroid, and some people liked it, some people didn't, but it was an interesting experiment. So I think it's very interesting that we have, Zelda's a big one, and to let, Koei Tecmo do a Dynasty Warriors type of game with that's a pretty big deal. So, Tiger Claw in our chat room at live.vognetwork.com reminding us that Hyrule Warriors is the working title. It could have a different title later. Who knows? Maybe they'll give it a Legend of Zelda and a subtitle. Because if you think about it, things like Phantom Hourglass were kind of not really Zelda games, but they were still in kind of that canon. I mean, but they played very differently, so we'll see. SSJ 100 Matt says if Nintendo was really smart, they would have other Nintendo characters as unlockables or DLC heroes to play with. Well, I wonder if some of the characters from Dynasty Warriors wouldn't show up. It would make a lot of sense, wouldn't it? Dark Soccer, I don't know if you've seen a lot about this game, but...
Dan and I talked about it.
Yeah, do you have interest in it?
Not really.
Why is that?
I mean, but we were talking about, Nintendo having this history of doing spin-offs with the Legend of Zelda series and marketing it out, like, how there were the licenses given for the 3DO and all that in the background, and we were talking about Phantom Hourglass and the Link's, crossbow training. It's another cash grab, really.
Well, you remember, this isn't the first time they've done a crossover with Tecmo Koei either. I think they had, was it Romance of the Three Kingdoms with Pokemon? Or it was Nobunaga's Ambition, one of those.
That's right. I forgot about that. You're right. Tech 2030 in our chat room says Nintendo Warriors would have been a much better game. Maybe something a little more inclusive of other characters. I don't know. I think that there's a lot of people that are going to buy it on Zelda alone.
If I was going to do it, I would pick one of the Fire Emblem franchises, since you've got more characters to choose from, and I believe that the playstyle is similar. Mm-hmm. But then again, they'd just say, oh, well, it's another, Fire Emblem game.
Right. Well, we'll be curious to see what happens with that game.
And Tech 2030 actually mentioned Marth, so...
All right, well, something else that came out of Nintendo Direct, another game announcement, it is Dr. Luigi, because, of course, it is the year Luigi, is it not? And so Dr. Luigi will be kind of the last big hurrah for Luigi in the year of Luigi. It will be hitting the Wii U eShop on December 31st. And as you can probably guess, Dr. Luigi... It's Dr. Mario, but starring Luigi. Now, it is being done for the Wii U. It will have an online mode, which means you can go head-to-head with two-player, which you don't hear very often with Nintendo games, so that's pretty exciting. Dr. Luigi will play very similar to the classic NES game. However, there will be a new twist. Operation L is a new mode in the game, and it will feature L-shaped blocks of the two capsules fused together with 3 matching color blocks within the block. So you have to match 4 colors together, but it's still a little easier than the original Dr. Mario. So it'll be very interesting to see how that all plays out. I have to admit, when I first heard about this, I was like, oh, cool, that'll be a lot of fun to play. And then I thought, didn't they do this on the Wii? And they did. I don't know if you guys remember, but they actually released Dr. Mario on the Wii, and it was almost like the same thing. I mean, it didn't have the Operation L, that's a new thing, but it had the 2-player online mode, and I think I remember back then talking about it going, oh, yay, finally a Wii game by Nintendo that's like head-to-head online, that's really exciting. And I think most people bought Dr. Mario, played it for a day online against like one friend, and then probably never touched it again. So I can't help but wonder if Dr. Luigi is going to meet a similar fate. Granted, if they get their money, they don't care if you play it for 1 day or 100 days. But what do you guys think about Dr. Luigi?
I don't have a Wii U.
Yeah.
So
of course,
I'll just come over here and play it.
Is that a system seller for you, Dr. Luigi?
No. If Dan and I were going to have bought a system, it would be for Wind Waker HD, and we clearly haven't bought one yet. So it's not a seller, honestly. If I really, really wanted to play Dr. Mario, I'd hook up my NES. That's it.
Fair enough. Jason, any interest in this?
I was pretty terrible at Dr. Mario. It's a game, and it's continuing a trend of something that Nintendo's been wanting to do topically. It's cute, cool. Probably wouldn't buy it.
No, I have to say I was really good at Dr. Mario. I'd get up to like level 30 something.
I seem to remember always fast forwarding myself to like level 15 or level 20 or something like that, and always dying incredibly quickly and being very frustrated and not playing the game again.
So that's why you have to start at the if you start from the beginning, and build up, you acclimatize to the speed.
It was one of those things where I didn't want to start from scratch, and I wanted to make it actually difficult, but I would always make it too difficult, and I never found that a happy medium. I'm also talking like years and years and years ago, so I really don't remember how it all wound up playing out. But maybe if I'm looking for something to pad up a library with, but. Yeah, no particular interest in jumping on this real quick.
Loki, is this a system seller for you?
Oh, totally. No, I mean seriously, Luigi's a terrible doctor, right? Shoving L-shaped pills down someone's throat, it's just a choking hazard.
I can't help but feel like games like this and NES Remixed or NES Remix were really rushed just to try and beef up Nintendo's offerings on the eShop, for better or for worse. I mean, I guess I really can't complain. As much as I might have, been a little bit critical of NES Remix earlier, there were good things about it too. And even this, I might see some negative, but I think it's very exciting that we have an online classic game. I mean, everything I've bitched about wanting on Virtual Console, Dr. Luigi does kind of deliver, so I'm excited to see that. So, I mean, if Nintendo were to rush games like this every couple months or whatever, I wouldn't be mad. I'd like to see more of this type of stuff, especially with some of the classics. I think it would be pretty cool. But
I agree with Fifth Dream, by the way. I can't play Dr. Mario. I'm too good at it, and games go on for hours.
Oh,
this is true.
Jeez.
No. This is true. If you're good at Dr. Mario,
Yeah.
you have to jinx yourself. You cannot start the game and just play through it.
Well,
and be done. It doesn't happen.
That's my problem with Civilization 5. I'm just too good at it, and suddenly it's 4 a.m. in the morning.
Rob, I've had 3-hour game session of Dr. Mario.
All right. I can think of. I'm trying to think of a game recently that I've done something like that with. Do you remember Every Extend Extra Extreme?
Yes.
But I'm such a whore.
I had your copy forever.
I'm such a whore for Q Entertainment. Well, they had it on an Xbox 360, and I remember I could play that game for you just keep creating the explosions, and do it on the beats. You can keep that game going for hours as well.
Now, remember when I was super drunk at my birthday and I played Luminous and got to level 25 while I was super, super drunk, and I had to actually kill myself so that I could drink my beer? That was fun.
Black Wolf in our chat room says, humble brag.
I apparently am better at puzzle games when I'm really drunk, by the way.
It gets you in a state of zen. All right.
I was in a state of I'm on my 8th beverage.
Well, Dark Soccer, I know you're sober, but maybe you can read the next story for us anyway.
Yeah, maybe I could do that. So, there is, for all the people who are super hyper pissed off at YouTube, like just about everybody, there is a wiki set up so that you can find basically what's going to let you do a Let's Play and monetize it. Maybe and a does not allow. So it's a wiki page called Who Let's Play, and you can go check out the information there. There is a quote saying that right now the issue is with music, and developers are basically have licensed music non-exclusively, so that means you might be able to show a game and the game developer will be fine with it, but the person who created the music has licensed it out to multiple people and not be so cool with it. But the wiki page is useful out there for knowing what you can and can't do. If in doubt, you can check. And there's a second wiki that's for and it says in quotes, known bad actors who are basically, I guess it says something about music resellers, so I'm not really sure about that. But they're, it's basically labeling out who you can trust, who you can't trust, and what you're going to be able to do as far as that content.
Just to clarify, though, it will not stop YouTube necessarily from holding up your videos. And the reason why I point that out...
They're dicks.
Well, yes. And I know Loki's going to explain a little more what's going on in a minute here, but just... What's going on with me personally right now on my own channel, my video, my struggle, is that the other day I posted a video playing Final Fantasy XIV. I don't even remember what we were doing in it. Oh, yeah, it was the last night of the 2.0 patch. So we were just running around talking. It was almost like a little mini podcast. It was a lot of fun. And you can check that out on my channel at Rob Roberts Plays. If you're a Final Fantasy XIV fan, we had a lot of fun with that. And YouTube flagged it, saying, and it was one of those weird things where it wasn't a copyright claim. It didn't say that somebody had claimed the copyright. It just said, we don't believe that this is your content. You need to prove to us that it's your content if you want to monetize it. Now, I don't have dreams of making thousands of dollars off YouTube videos, but if I could get one of my videos to go viral and maybe pay for some new microphones for OLR, that would be awesome. That's my deal with it. So I was a little pissed off to see that YouTube flagged the video for literally no reason. than they want me to prove I own it. Well, the game was Final Fantasy XIV. I believe that's listed on this wiki, or if it's not, it should be, because on Square's website, in there, it says you can post this on our partner's site, which includes YouTube, and you can make the monetization, because it was a huge deal. At first, they said no monetization, and they reversed their policy. That was a big deal a few months ago when the game first came out. So it kind of pissed me off that YouTube flagged it for literally no reason. And now the views that I am getting, which of course I'm going to get the most views before the patch is out, I didn't get monetization on. Now, all right, so maybe I lost a quarter, but it's the principle of the thing. And I'm a small-time channel, but what about the big-time channels that this happened with? So I'm just saying, even though this wiki is out there, it's not going to stop this crap from happening. Anyway, let Loki, because I know Loki has some more things to elaborate on this with.
I was just going to say, though, it's good that someone's taking the time to at least put the information out there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's good to know where people stand and to be able to easily educate yourself before you get into the Let's Play business.
Well, and that it's a wiki, people can update it too.
Yes.
So it is the community.
Yes. Loki.
All right, yeah, so YouTube, of course, making the comment regarding this whole fiasco, I guess, and pretty much just sticking by their ContentID system. And they had helpful tips, of course. That's great. So they basically, said, last week we expanded the system to scan more channels, including those affiliated with multi-channel networks. As a result, some channels, including many gaming channels, saw claims appear against their videos from audio or video copyright holders. Keep in mind, one video may contain multiple copyrighted works, and any of which can potentially result in a claim. Online rights are often resold to companies like music labels and aggregators. While you might not recognize the owner, this doesn't necessarily mean their claim is invalid. And know that we love what you do. We've worked hard to design the ContentID and other tools to give everyone from individual creators to media companies the opportunity to make great videos and money. Yeah, that didn't really help, except for the fact that it's monetizing people's videos that really fall under fair use, and this is the whole thing where you're having a robot do a human's job, and yeah, it's a big old mess. But to kind of help along with that, there is a brand new nonprofit resource that's kind of based off that whole Who Let's Play, and what they're doing is allowing, I guess, some support for people that may have been flagged by the ContentID system. And their brand new website notes, the website will have some legal or standard legal language that will be available to everyone to use and educate them on these legal minefields in a simple and clear way. We also like to create some badges, much like Creative Commons does, that go along with licensed materials, which developers can use to advertise on what legal grounds they stand on advertising that their music is safe to use. So basically just kind of going along the lines of that Who Let's Play wiki resource, but expanding it from not just game content, but to like music resources and stuff like that. Because there were some people that were actually getting their videos flagged because they had purchased music libraries, and they're using some of this music that they licensed in their videos, and now those are being flagged by the original music owner and stuff like that.
Now, am I correct in thinking that because it says it has like online legal resources and language, they'll have templates that I can actually use in contesting my videos?
Yeah, I think so.
Nice. So next time we get an episode of Orange Lounge Radio flagged as "We don't believe you own this content," I can paste language in there that will get that turned over, as opposed to denied, which happened this past week. Told by YouTube, we do not own the show.
Yeah, pretty much.
Anyway.
All right. And then last but not least, there was also this issue with some of the music from with Terry Kavanagh's VVV. It was being claimed by some company called TuneCore. And the whole situation with that, I guess, is that TuneCore, as well as InMusic, they are partnered. I guess he maybe had his music going through InMusic, and what TuneCore has done is actually helped with the monetization and getting these videos that have their music, monetized if it's not, the original artists and stuff, and also getting them onto different platforms, including, iTunes and stuff like that. The problem is, though, they're, I guess, going to only whitelist, I guess now they're going to only whitelist those tracks for the original author. But, for example, if, the creator of VVV wants to allow other people, use their gameplay footage in Let's Play videos and stuff, they're not going to authorize, TuneCore is not going to authorize them to make money off those videos. They're basically going to collect all the money from it and give only a portion of it to the original copyright owner. So it's kind of a mess there as well.
So why on earth would I want to sign up for this TuneCore thing in the first place?
I don't know.
What's the benefit? Why did the VVV guy sign up with this in the first place? Maybe he thought he was going to get protected, and instead,
I think it was more of like just maybe to get the soundtracks up on different music networks out there, and iTunes and wherever else that's being played through, and maybe get monetization from that. But he probably never thought that it would come back to bite him on YouTube.
The role of a publisher in this scenario, exactly like Loki just said, is that you turn your materials into one source and they go quite literally everywhere, still offering you the control of where you actually want them to be. Amazon MP3, iTunes, Spotify, Rdio, Pandora, CD Baby, etc.
Thank you. I get it now. And Bobby's clarifying in chat as well. TuneCore gets you on Spotify, iTunes, etc. They're one of the easier music distribution companies. I see. I get it.
There was an artist friend of mine that lives near back home showed me some of the analytics that they get, and it's really impressive. They have a per network breakdown of where they've been making money, so much so that not only is there iTunes revenue, but there's iTunes Match revenue, which is its own independent source of where you can actually make money. The problem is that these companies have a stranglehold of sales and reproduction and performance practically everywhere on the internet because they are a digital distribution source. I understand the benefit, and until it's so hard as an individual to work with every single one of those outlets, so I understand the middleman in this particular scenario for now. Things might change if services actually get to a point where they give the individual artist or group, what have you, like more thorough control easier, or if people just want to do it all individually so they own all the terms and do not have these conflicts. People are going to start learning that might be something that has to happen now, and it's only easier every single day to put your music somewhere on your own, to put your music on a network somewhere on your own. That said, these services exist for a reason. They solve a lot of problems for people that are out there to get their name out there and reap the benefit of it.
Well, all I know is that this YouTube stuff is growing thin on the community as a whole real quick. And I know there's some people out there that are like, well, people are going to just keep going to YouTube because it's the only place for it. But when some competitors start coming out and start doing it better, I'm sure somebody at Twitch TV is thinking right now, how can we turn this into a situation that's better for ourselves and our market share? If you don't think people will abandon ship en masse when something better comes along, MySpace would like to welcome you back. Please. Justin Timberlake owns us now. Please, come on back. MySpace, we're cool.
I do very easily think that people will go somewhere better, but as far as like YouTube going away is not going to happen.
Well, MySpace didn't go away.
That's up for debate.
Friendster's still around.
Is that actually the case?
Yes, I think it's big in Asia. I think,
and then Orchid's big in Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
So, will a better network exist? Yes, absolutely. But the benefit of YouTube is that millions of eyeballs are there.
Well, and plus, for better or worse, YouTube has, at least if nothing else, all the archive stuff. Mm-hmm. They've got so much stuff on there. But I think as far as like gamers moving, I think the gaming community may absolutely move somewhere else, especially if a targeted gaming YouTube comes out. But then the question is, who would advertise on it? Because keep in mind, that's what this is all about, is advertiser and who gets the advertiser dollars.
Every single one of the publishers.
If Twitch TV can exist, a gaming YouTube can exist as well.
Yeah. I absolutely agree with that aspect. Things somebody can make can build a better service, and they will.
If PornTube exists.
Yeah, well, the other thing too is, I'm surprised that a company like TuneCore or in music or whatever doesn't have a way. I mean, I'm sure they did it on purpose, but doesn't have a way to say, okay, I don't want you to worry about monetizing music on YouTube. I only want it on iTunes and wherever, Stitcher or wherever it's going. So if they could somehow get around it that way, but of course now that they know that they can make money off of flagging these things, of course now they're not going to have that loophole in there.
And TuneCore wants to make their money too, right?
Oh yeah,
this is how they do it. So, all right, let's move on. I'm sure lots of other thoughts on this. We might get some emails on it in the next week, but for now, let's move on with the show. Jason,
this is not the classic game of the week, but think back to 1993 with me. DOS was the preeminent IBM operating system. Windows
AOL
95
1.5
was still being built, I guess, early days of AOL, and
my
I guess Windows 3.1 was still around.
386, my 386 SX16 was the
Playing
bomb.
Doom.
We still had these things called floppy disks because nuts to optical media.
Calling into BBSs to play The Pit.
So was I.
And don't copy that floppy.
And a wonderful little game from LucasArts called X-Wing was released. The first in a series of 3 games that pretty much set the standard for space dogfights, and bolstered by Wing Commander and plenty of other games at the time. If you miss those days, like I do, 2014 is going to be an amazing year because of the announcement of Star Wars Attack Squadrons. Area 52, in conjunction with Disney and LucasArts, are going to publish a up to 16-person multiplayer space battles game under the name Star Wars Attack Squadrons. Please go to starwars.com/attack squadrons and sign up for the beta now, because this game is going to be out in what they're saying currently the first half of next year. It is going to be amazing. Even though Star Wars Old Republic got its space flight off rails and actually starting battles, there is room for a dedicated game of this caliber. I can't wait. I have nothing else. I have plenty of other things to say. Oculus Rift would make this amazing. I need to go get a flight stick joystick. This game is going to be outstanding, considering that it is actually going to have the only games confirmed. The only ships confirmed right now are the X-Wing and the TIE Fighter, but invariably they are going to build that out so that the Rebels have X, A, Y, and B wings, possibly also the Z-95 Headhunter from X-Wing and TIE Fighter, X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, and all that, and then invariably the Imperial side will have at least the TIE Fighter, TIE Interceptor, TIE Bomber, and we'll see what else they come up with. I can't wait. Period.
You're very excited, I can say.
TIE Fighter, X-Wing vs. TIE Fighter is like, I played so many games as a kid, mostly demos, but like TIE Fighter was that game that I got through on my own, and maybe cheated a little bit because the cheat codes were right in the menu, and that game was fucking impossible if you didn't have invulnerability and infinite missiles. But anyways, I had so much fun with that game, and then they released the CD-ROM version, and they had the 4 bonus campaign missions. Everything that was built about that game had the right look. I am so happy to see this news again. People have wanted a game like this for a while. LucasArts closing down didn't do any favors. Older Republic, I don't want to be attached to an MMO just to, dogfight in space. This is good news. I cannot wait to see what happens with it.
Bochikawa in chat at live.vognetwork.com says, wow, fun stuff. So glad they're revisiting this. Dungeon Buster says, I didn't care much for X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, though, because it didn't have a single-player campaign.
What? It did. It had a single player campaign. It had a story. You had to examine ships and take out defense platforms and escort the Emperor. There was very much a campaign.
All right. Well, I hope these Renaissance type games do well and lead way to other things. I wasn't super into the Star Wars games. I know some people were.
Shame
Well,
on you.
I like Super Star Wars on Super Nintendo. That was the Star Wars game I enjoyed. But I did love the old Wing Commander games, like Wing Commander 1 and 2. Good stuff.
I don't think I ever actually owned a Wing Commander, which was why it's not as prominent in my brain. I played at least 3 and 4, possibly 1 or 2. I don't remember, but there has been nothing like those games in over a decade now. So this is just straight up good news.
All right, Dark Saga, what do you have for us?
I've got some stuff. How about Hearthstone? People have been looking forward to it, and Blizzard has been kind of pimping it. However, the open beta has been delayed, and it looks like it's going to be done next month. So they're holding it off. It sounds like they're doing some more testing before they do it, and they said they don't want to rush it. Make it slower. But they did say that the invites for the closed beta have already gone out, and if you don't have it, check your spam folder for those who signed up for it.
Which, by the way, it's about freaking time this open beta gets here. I mean, I realize it's been delayed again, so I mean, but Hearthstone is it's a beta. I don't know why it's still in beta. The game is fully functional. I mean, yes, there's still some balance issues to be worked out, but like the longer it goes on, the more I stop caring about this game, because it's like, I don't need to see another freaking beta key giveaway. Like, who is not in this game now that doesn't want to be in it? Like, it's just, I don't know. It's like a Google product. You really still not in the beta and you want it?
We'll get you a key. I don't know. I've never quite liked card games, but it looks fun, and I would not mind.
Well, I'm sure
having a few rounds.
Somebody in chat has an extra key, or I think Grandpa from Horde House has one we can get you.
Also, they're saying opt-ins for the closed beta end on January 7th. You can opt in on battle.net.
Because they need to just take the freaking game live already. It's a little ridiculous. I don't know. It's like that again. It's like Google product that stays in beta forever, and it's like past the joke, you know. Tech 2030 in chat asking, Hearthstone is going to be free to play, right? Yes. If you want to buy new decks, though, that's where they get the money is from the decks, and so forth. All right. Let's travel around the world and check out some release dates, although I think this will probably be a pretty quick segment, being what week it is, but let's check in anyway. Loki?
You get a whole bunch of coal. There's nothing.
Nothing. Is there anything coming out right after the holidays? Do we have any big... Because I remember last year, we got some pretty big stuff right after the holidays. Like, Ni no Kuni was just like 2 weeks after the holidays. Is there anything in 2014 looking like that?
You know, honestly, the next thing in 2014 is going to be January 10th, and that's just a disc release of We Fit You, and that's it. I mean, the new stuff doesn't come until literally the last week of January, so it's going to be a whole lot of nothing for a few weeks now.
You know, if they added a G and an H to that, it'd be We Fight You.
All right, let's travel to Japan, where at least there is some news this week, because, you know, Christmas, very different in Japan. So right after you chat out on some Christmas cake, you can go out on December 26th and check out Final Fantasy X and X-2 HD remasters. They are coming out on PlayStation 3 this week.
What can I do for you?
They are getting it on in Japan a little bit before we are. But PlayStation 3 is region free, right? So some of you guys might be importing that. I don't know. You can also check out Ampersand, or and I don't know. That's like the title is like an ampersand, and then Sora no Muko de Sakimasu yo ni in regular and limited edition. So
cutesy game.
Yeah, it looks like happy. See, but that is the title of the game, is like an ampersand. So I don't know if that's like is that an anime that I don't know of?
I don't think so.
I don't know, but it's cute girls fighting and that whole thing. You know, looks like she's like walking around with a surrender flag or something. It's kind of weird. I don't know. It's an adventure game. It's from 5PB is putting that out in Japan. Checking out some of the other consoles on the Xbox 360. Nothing this week. On the PlayStation Vita, the Ampersand game is there too, as well as the 10 and 10.2 HD remasters are there as well. And there's also, I believe, a special box set with the PlayStation Vita and the 10 and 10.2 all coming together. So that is on the PlayStation Vita. On the Wii U this week, nothing, but there is an accessory for Wii Karaoke U coming out on December 31st, a little mini speaker system. Yeah. On the 3DS, A Legend of Zelda, A Link Between Worlds makes its way to Japan this week. That was one that we got first. And they are getting that extra little console bundle that we got here as well. In fact, I want to see, does it look the exact same? I'm kind of curious, because I actually haven't seen what the Japanese one looks like. Yes, it is the exact same bundle we got here, except the box art's way better. I like that box art way better. But it's that same 3DS, except, of course, it is a Japanese 3DS, because, you know, they're region-locked and stuff. And lastly, on the PSP this week, Julik Nightmare in regular and limited edition, as well as Sengoku Hime 4 comes out this week on the PSP. There you go. How about the UK, Dark Soccer?
There's one thing on the list, and it actually says December 25th. Pro Evolution Soccer 2014 on everything. And yeah, it's listing everything practically. Even the Spectrum. No, I'm kidding. No, it's not the Spectrum.
I can finally dust off my 2600.
It's on the MSX.
You know, I've actually been chatting off and on with Catastrophic Moggy.
Uh-huh.
And he was telling me not too long ago about playing Strider on the Spectrum.
Nice.
And I was like, hey, Dan, you want to play Strider on the Spectrum? And Dan's like, no.
It's one of those things that probably sounds more fun than it really is.
You know what I want?
Rose-colored retro glasses.
What I would love to get for my house.
What?
Is a Duo RX so that we can use an arcade card or have a converter that we can use an arcade card with on our Duo, because we can't play his version of Strider for the PC Engine without using an arcade card. And, of course, the pin sets are different. So, anyway.
All right. Just a couple more news stories for you guys in the classic game of the week. Loki.
All right. So, you know, of course, everyone wants to know what was the most played game in 2013. And Raptor has the answer for that. They broke down the top 5 games. Of course, number 1 being my personal favorite, Grand Theft Auto 5.
Surprise.
Followed by Call of Duty Ghosts on Xbox 360, and actually Grand Theft Auto 5 on 360 was number 1. Battlefield 4 on PC, Dota 2 on PC, and last but not least, Final Fantasy 14 Online, Realm Reborn on PC.
Wow. I didn't realize Realm Reborn was that high, but I'm also surprised that World of Warcraft, League of Legends... Like, where are those games?
Well,
yeah,
they're all older. Those
it's actually those most played. That was based on a 30-day launch window. So actually, the most played PC game of 2013 was League of Legends.
Okay. All right. Now it makes sense. Got it. I was like, surely League of Legends. I mean, I know Dota 2 is very popular. So is League of Legends. So, all right, that makes a lot more sense. And still don't understand the point of using Raptor anymore. Like, it was one of those things where it was cute at first, but now why bother? What's Raptor? What's the benefit in Raptor?
Let's log back into Xbox 360 Voice then.
Well, the whole thing is just like
EP.
You know, like achievements. Yeah, pretty much. You know, it just kind of like, oh, damn it, you know, Rob's outperformed me in this game. I have to go play this game some more. That's basically it.
It's up to the minute EP, 24 hours, 7 day a week EP.
It's cross network leaderboards.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I have a Raptor account, I'm pretty sure. It probably tracks my 360 progress, but, you know.
When's the last time you turned that thing on?
This week when I played Minecraft.
No, not so bad.
Believe it or not.
Oh, we were talking about that, weren't we?
Yeah, weren't you paying attention?
Sorry. I was actually taking notes for the
What'd you
video.
say?
That's my legal excuse here.
What'd you say?
Minecraft. Mine all the things.
Yeah. You know what? Okay, I have to say something else funny. Side note.
Huh.
Julian, when I picked him up from school on Friday, he said, "Can I play Minecraft at your house?" And I said no, because I've uninstalled it.
I remember when you hated Minecraft, but you finally came around. Like, that was some progress in 2013. You finally came around to lukewarm on Minecraft.
I enjoy it. I just removed it so that when I do my system stuff, I just cleaned everything off.
She needed room for porn.
No, I needed room for my fucking Steam games. God.
And then also, I was going to say, the most played Xbox 360 game, of course, total playtime, Call of Duty Black Ops 2, followed by Grand Theft Auto 5, and then Minecraft I thought was interesting.
Oh, there you go.
The fact that Grand Theft Auto 5 could jump up that high in gameplay hours for the last, 2.5 months of the year compared to everything else, not surprising,
not
but
super
kind
surprising.
of crazy.
Yeah, a little crazy that, it's only out for a third of the year, if that, and tops the charts. But at the same time, not really. Not really. All right, so many people freaking playing that game. This was an interesting development this week, and there's been a lot of controversy, and some of it we've talked about here on OLR, some of it we haven't, around Penny Arcade Expo. And I don't really know how to condense this into, but if you somehow don't know the controversy with Penny Arcade Expo, let me just put it this way. The guys behind it have a tendency to put their foot in their mouths every time. And just when you think they might have learned something, or they stick their foot right back in their mouth with some other comment. So that's really turned some people and rubbed some people the wrong way with Penny Arcade Expo. And there's definitely a call where they need to do the right thing, and they need to get the message out there, and they need to, be a little more accepting of all types of gaming cultures and so forth. And anyhow, some plans came out this week, some leaked plans or whatever, some leaked information came out this week about Penny Arcade's planned Diversity Hub and Lounge.
Oh, God.
Well, hold on, I'm not done.
I know.
This is going to be something that would be in a high-traffic PAX area that would be a resource for PAX attendees to find information related to issues surrounding women, LGBTQ, people of color, disabled people, mental health issues in gaming. It would be a resource for industry professionals and fans to interface in a setting focused on diversity, receive diversity training, learn more about diversity, and meet people from diverse communities. And, of course, this was all mocked on Twitter in an instant. Hashtag Diversity Lounge drinks, things of that nature. Basically, some folks kind of saying, wow, they are literally shoving all of this in the corner. So I don't know, a lot of mixed feedback going on this, and we don't know if this is what PAX will actually end up implementing or whatever, but PAX East is coming up before we know it. I made a decision not to go to PAX East. That's rooted mostly in finance, but there was a small part of that where I was just like, you know what? I don't know if I can continue to support some of this fuckery as much as I would love to see. I know a lot of the OL Army does go out to PAX East, just kind of one of those. I just feel like I should spend the money on, having a better experience at Dragon Con or going to some other convention. I don't know. That's where I'm at personally, and this doesn't really exactly change my mind. I have to admit, when I read something like this, I'm just like, all right, look. PAX does a lot of panels. Why not do some more panel? I mean, to be fair, they've done a pretty good job having a lot of diversity in panels and so forth. They have some of that, speaking, and a lot of those groups I just named there tend to usually get a panel at PAX, and I think that's pretty cool. But on the other hand, I'm also like, why does it necessarily need to be a room? I'm not saying that something like this has to take up the entire show floor, but what about something that builds awareness to maybe one of these causes as a booth that's out there on the show floor? What about some great gaming charities that could be out there on the show floor really getting their information out there to maybe some of the people that need to hear it most? It is a little weird to hear that they want to kind of put it in its own room. I don't know. Any thoughts on this from you guys here in studio or Loki on the phone?
It's like they're throwing the bone out there to people and then shoving it in the corner. I mean, really, it is exactly like that. And not to mention that the guys keep having a tendency to repeatedly shove their foot in their mouth so deep that they're shitting toenails. So I don't know if it's too little, too late, and if they're really going about it the wrong way. I would like to see, the public booth. I would like to see something right available at every corner. Here's where you can get your information.
The whole thing reminds me of The Office, when Michael would try to, have a diversity day and stuff, and it just goes horribly wrong. They completely offend everybody in the process. It's kind of like that.
There's a part of me, I gotta be honest, there's a part of me that's like, you know what, they don't, and maybe this is a controversial thing I'm about to say, so feel free to present your viewpoint respectfully if you think I'm wrong. But I'm just kind of like, there's a part of me that thinks, you know what, they don't really need to even do this. Just don't go out of your way to be all like, yay, we're going to have Diversity Day and hold hands. How about you apologize for what you said and mean it and just show through your actions in the future.
Yeah.
That would mean so much more.
Because that would be too difficult, Rob.
That's the honest thing at the end of the day. I don't need a room. I just need your actions to show that you care. And that's enough for me.
But then if they do this, they don't have to change their behavior. They're making their token effort.
And that's what bugs me about
Yeah.
it. Now, Rama wants to remind us in chat at live.vognetwork.com, it was a leaked memo. Things might change. That's absolutely right. SSG100 Matt says, tinfoil hat time. I wonder if they leaked it on purpose to see the reaction. Queen Simia says, it's tokenism, I think. See, we're not totally sexist, homophobic, transphobic, misogynist. We put a room just for them over there. And that's where I'm just like, you know what? Why don't you just show through your actions you're not that way, and then just have a gaming convention, and we're good.
And to be fair, most corporations, especially a lot of the ones that you are going to have on the floor at your convention, have diversity training as part of their corporate training.
Mm-hmm.
You know how this goes, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I worked for what was the money store for like 10 years, and we had freaking diversity training damn near every year, especially if you're in customer service. But yeah, I'm at a loss because I want to say 5 different words at one time to describe it, and none of them want to come to the fore. So I'm just going to say it's fuckery and leave it at that.
Jason, any final thoughts on this?
I had exactly the same thought. That I had exactly the same point as you, and that this seems exceedingly unnecessary when it's not born out of the big story at the last PAX was not this born out of confrontation on the show floor or something between attendees. It was the fucking founder that was making stupid comments. And wasn't it also like outside, like just on the internet, not even, I don't remember if it happened a day of the show or shortly after or something like that, but it's like, one,
he literally pulled a sorry not sorry on stage, basically.
Oh, I don't remember that portion of it.
That was my impression of it anyway, is that, I said sorry for this once, but I'm really not sorry.
I'm sorry I got caught.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway.
Or my favorite thing, I'm sorry my words offended you.
Yeah.
Which means I'm not sorry for what I said. I'm just sorry that you called me on it.
Yeah. It's your problem, not mine.
It seems foolish. It seems unnecessary. It definitely is putting the problem in the problem, quotey fingers, into a corner. Whatever. Yeah, whatever.
All right. Let's move on. Let's go to a time when gaming was just it didn't have all this fuckery, as Jamie put it.
It also didn't have all this diversity, but that's another topic.
You know what?
That's because everybody in video games was Japanese.
Not everybody.
Unless the game was produced over here.
But anyway, all that talk aside, it's the classic game of the week. When maybe we were just younger and naiver. I think that's really what it is, y'all. It's the classic game of the week. Dark Soccer's going to jump into the gaming vault and find a classic game that she thinks, hey, you kids should be playing this game this week. And if you're not, I can't even with you. All right, here it is, Dark Soccer. What is the classic game of the week?
I will explain it a little bit. I have been playing, I forgot to mention at the start of the show, a shit ton of NAMCO High. I've beaten it with like 5 characters. Well, not really beaten it because it's more like a visual novel. But anyway, so one of the games I've chosen has a character that is in NAMCO High. And I picked Genpei Tōma, which we got it over here as with one of the NAMCO Museum games as the Genji and Heike clan. So, and over there it was the Genji and Heike Tale of the Demon's Demise. It's a side-scrolling action game that came out by Namco. It was an arcade game in 1986, and it ran on the Namco System 86 hardware. And like I said, we got it over here as the Namco Museum Volume 4, or it was the C, which I have it. And the game's actually kind of a neat little game. And I like it from an artistic point of view because the game sort of plays like you're on a Yamatoe-type landscape. So it looks like almost like it's trying to emulate some of the ancient artwork of Japan pre the popularity of the woodblock stuff that a lot of people are used to. So as you go through the game, you have different types of action. You have the small mode, which is standard, big mode with large characters and big boss fights, and then you have a plane mode, which is overhead. You have a tori, which are used to transport you to a different stage, and most stages are featured in the side mode or plane mode. There are multiple tori that can be entered that will take to different routes on the map. In big mode, there's only one, and it's at the end of the stage. So you are playing a historical samurai named Taira no Kagekiyo, which is basically he died in the Battle of Dan no Ura at the end of the Genpei War. And he was resurrected in this to fight Minamoto no Yoshitsune. I've got a lot of Japanese in this. And Saito Musashi Bobenkei over the Imperial Regalia of Japan, which is the only way to beat Minamoto no Yoritomo. So it's got a lot of different elements of Japanese history and mythology in it, including the Sanzu River, which is it separates the current life from the afterlife, sort of like the river Styx in Greek mythology. And different mythological characters like Emo, or Emadayo, who is the king of the god of the underworld, and Amaterasu, who is the sun goddess. There have been many different versions of it. In 1988, we had the Sharp X68000 home computer, and it was very, very much like the arcade version. We have a PC Engine version that came out in March 16th, 1990, and the PC Engine version has been released on the Wii's Virtual Console. As I said earlier, it was released in the U.S. on NAMCO Museum Volume 4 as the Genji and Heike clans, which is probably about the closest, I'd say, translation to the name that we could have gotten over here. There also was an interactive board game that was based off this that used a Famicom cartridge for play, and it was called...
Sounds weird.
It was called Genpei Tomaden Computer Board Game. It came out on October 21st, 1988.
Pac-Man board game?
I have no freaking clue. I'd have to find this. I'd really like to see it. There was also a sequel called Genpei Tomaden Kan no Ki that came out April 7th, 1992, exclusively for the PC Engine. But it did have an American release that was called Samurai Ghost for TurboGrafx 16, and it is the only one of the games that had been released outside Japan before Namco Museum Volume 4. Kagekiyo has shown up in other games done by Namco. He was in a playable character in the WonderSwan color game Namco Super Wars, and in Namco Cross Capcom, which he teamed up with Mitsurugi from the Soul series and Tarosuke from Shadowland. And some of the other characters have appeared in it, and our most recent one was, of course, Tyra has been in NAMCO High as one of the dateable characters, which I'm probably going to play him next. And some of the game music was actually remixed for Ridge Racer 5.
Oh,
so
cool.
There you go. And it's a fun game. I mean, you're watching it right now. And you see the shape of the clouds. That was the biggest thing that indicated that art style to me. And then when I went and found it actually confirmed, I was like, yes, I recognize the art style.
I got to be honest, I have never seen this game before.
Ditto.
Never. And I know it was in some Namco collections. I do not remember it at all.
If you would like at some point, I'm more than happy to bring over the C from my Namco collection. It's a fun game. It really is fun.
All right. Well, I just have a billion other classics I got to play too.
It's a very interesting platformer.
A lot of the imagery in this has reminded me of an old arcade game called Sengoku that I played a handful of times. But I think that's just because Japanese classic warrior mythology and not so mythology.
And especially with the way that the imagery is presented, the way that you have... even the dialogue is presented in game as corner top to bottom, left to right, as traditional, Japanese artwork would have had a poem or something written on it. Very kanji heavy too, I noticed. So, of course, the first one I played was, the English version that came out on PlayStation. So, but it's a good game. It's a really good game.
All right.
Very solid, and I also just laughed my ass off at any of Tyra's scenes that I've seen on Tumblr so far, so I have to play Tyra's next.
All right, there it is, your classic game of the week. What was the title one more time?
It was, I just closed the window.
You don't remember.
It was Genpei Tomaden.
Genpei Tomaden. There it is. All right, your classic game of the week.
And that's probably all of the correct pronunciation you're going to get out of me today.
All right, we got plenty more Orange Lounge Radio coming up here on this pre-holiday edition of the show. We got rapid fire news, special Foogle question of the week tonight. Jason will be reading it. We'll get into that a little later. And some news about Xbox One and plenty more when we come back. Loki's still there on the phone, right?
Yes, I'm here.
I just have to check on you once in a while because I can't look at you. Did they find your sister?
Not yet.
Oh, God. I hope
well, it's not. She was working out in her goat pasture, so who knows?
I want a goat.
No, you don't.
Goats are cute.
No, you don't.
All right. Well, I hope everything's all right with that. So we've got plenty more Loki on the phone and plenty more folks here in studio. When we come back right after this break with more of Orange Lounge Radio. Welcome back, everybody, to Orange Lounge Radio, live on this Sunday evening, December the 22nd of 2013, with episode number 532 of our show in progress. And just in case we forget to mention it at the end of the show, I just want to wish all y'all happy holidays out there, no matter what it is you celebrate. You might already be done with the holidays, like Jamie is.
Not technically done, because I live in an interfaith family.
That's true, as many people do in this day and age.
Yes.
But whatever it is you celebrate, Christmas, I'm sure many of you, Festivus, Kwanzaa.
And the blessed solstice, since it just passed.
Solstice was last night, right?
Yep. Yule celebration.
Whatever it is y'all celebrate, have a good time. And, and
I still want a goat.
And thanks to all of you who have supported us, through here we are, yet another holiday season together. So thank you, everybody.
And trust me, you don't want to go.
Thank you, Logan.
I do want a goat so we don't have to mow the lawn ever. And they're cute. Look at their eyes. Their eyes are adorable.
Hey, that was my thought. Our backyard's pretty overgrown. I'm like, hey, just bring him over. But yeah, it's not that easy.
According to the in-laws, if you have one goat, it's fine. They sort of turn into like a dog-type pet. But if you have two goats, they turn into assholes. They start plotting against you.
She has 6, and I think they had more. So I think it's 6 or 7 now that she has. It's ridiculous.
Goats, they're so cute.
But your sister is a veterinarian, right?
She does lab work at a vet tech place, but she keeps her goats at a friend of my mom's house. He has farm land, and so she has a pasture over there.
That's pretty cool. There's a lot of farming in my family too, believe it or not. My uncle, I don't know how much I should really say about this, but my uncle is a big time pig farmer, big time. He was actually president of some big pig related thing when swine flu broke out. So they interviewed him on the news, and he was literally I think I talked about this when swine flu first broke. He was literally the guy there on the news saying, "Don't call it swine flu, and you can eat as much bacon as you want. It's fine. Please don't stop buying bacon," because they're pig farmers. So yeah, that's my uncle.
All he had to say was just swine flu makes the bacon taste even better.
that's the family I grew up in right there. So, and then I think my other uncle on my mom's side is a rodeo guy, but I don't even we're not super close.
When I was a kid and used to go to Dothan, Alabama, and they had a little farm. We actually lived on the farm for 2 years, so I spent 2 summers there legit. But they had 2 goats, and they were both named Sam. Both of the goats were named Sam.
Some comments in our chat room, live.vognetwork.com. Fifth Dream reminding us it's Christmas Eve. That is something my sister used to say on the 23rd. She'd always say, it's Christmas Eve. So today would be Christmas Eve. Let's see. Redotainment in chat at live.vognetwork.com says, celebrate the holidays, including the new holiday, December 20th, the day gay marriage came to Utah. Congratulations. Another state on marriage equality. That's amazing.
And as I told you earlier today, in the trying to pass a stay on it, the court rejected the stay. So go get hitched.
Happy to hear it. If you're ready for it.
If you want to.
Don't get hitched just because you can. That's like what Britney Spears does.
However, it would be completely fair if you wanted to get really drunk and elope.
Yeah, go to have a nice Utah weddings. There you go. All right. Well, congrats to Utah. Congrats to all the newlyweds, no matter what type of couple you're in these days. Just happy to hear all this good news everywhere. All right, we're going to get into some good news and maybe some bad news with some gaming rapid-fire topics here. Loki, start us off. Rapid-fire news.
All right, so this week we got another update for Grand Theft Auto Online. They added some capture-the-flag type gameplay modes, of course, with their own kind of spin to it. They have Raid, which is kind of like a standard capture-the-flag. Then they have, bases that you can hold and packages you have to seize and stuff. And then also Contend, which I guess is centered around a single vehicle that you capture and have to bring back to your base. So fun stuff. And then, of course, the content creator stuff came out last week as well. So, been trying to make some stuff with that. That was kind of cool. Dynasty Warriors 8 Extreme Legends coming to consoles, at least Sony consoles, in spring 2014. Of course, Extreme Legends for PlayStation 3 and Extreme Legends the Complete Edition for PlayStation 4 and Vita. So all bases covered there. And, one of the games I forgot to mention that I played this week, a tiny little bit of course, just a tiny little bit, I must stress that. Cookie Clicker got a Christmas update. So now there's reindeer cookies that you can click on and a crazy-looking Cthulhu-esque Santa and all other sorts of power-ups and stuff you can get in there as well. Christmas tree ornaments and all that fun stuff. So check it out if you've left your cookies clicking all by themselves for a while.
And the knockoff on the iPhone, Cookie Clicker, also has Santa cookies right now. So just saying, if you're with special chocolate milk mode. So if you're playing the cheap knockoff on iPhone, there's something for you there too. Just saying.
You have orange juice right now as my milk.
I don't know if you've played the iPhone knockoff one, but like there's milk that slowly rises that will increase your multiplier. So that's why they have like the chocolate milk, because it makes your multiplier like 50 times and all this crazy stuff. So
nice.
Pretty awesome. All right, well, moving on to some other topics. The game that I kind of thought NES Remix might be more like, Super Mario Brothers Crossover, but it's not. Super Mario Brothers Crossover has a brand new 3.1 version that is out, and this brings the Lost levels into Super Mario Brothers Crossover. You know, like the Japanese Super Mario Brothers 2, the Lost levels. So, now Lost levels will have 52 levels there with it. 348 levels in the game now. They did not change the physics, however, for Mario and Luigi, so it's not necessarily the true version, but there you go. Lots of new levels there for Super Mario Brothers Crossover 3.1. I haven't played this game in a while, but it was a lot of fun the times I did check it out. And I think, wasn't that developed here locally? Didn't we find that out? Like, the guy who did it's in Sacramento?
Yeah, he is.
We got to find him and get him on the show. Also, Konami releasing a new version of Contra, but guess what? It's only in China. At least it is for now. I don't know. But, it's Contra Evolution is available in China. It's something for Google Android or iOS. Konami, I think you get this free here on those systems, but in China it's like a full release as opposed to a little version here. I don't know. I haven't checked this game out on iOS, but it's there. And it's just the classic Contra game that you had on either the arcade or the NES, but the graphics are a little bit more improved there. But yeah, you probably won't do very well with it if it's Contra on a tablet, but hey, you can at least check that out.
Lastly, I was going to say that video, they have the Contra Evolution Revolution or whatever that's got PC and arcade listed on there. I was like, oh, hey, PC game? That'd be pretty cool.
Maybe coming soon to Steam for $1.99.
Yeah.
Speaking of Steam and things you can buy on it, Typing of the Dead Overkill is half off on Steam, or at least it was during the holiday sale. I don't know if that's still going. But there's also a brand new DLC pack. You know they've been releasing a lot of these, and we keep covering it every week. I don't know. This might be the last one. But we have to mention this one, because this Trump... What did they have? They had Shakespeare. They had Football Manager. But this one, this is the best, you guys. It's the Filth DLC pack. You can now type lines like man meat, furious penis, studded cock ring, always were a cunning linguist. So you can put in those terms into Typing of the Dead Overkill as you blast zombies to cocks. So check that out.
And
that might sell the game for me because I like, yeah.
This means we need you like cocks. Is that what you're saying? All right,
not really.
We need to do another Let's Play with extra narrating. I think that's going to have to be a thing there. So. We'll get that. Maybe instead of Horde House this week, we'll have Extra narrates the Filthy Pack.
A cunning linguist.
Yeah, it looks like right now it's only $14.99, and then the DLC is $2.99, so it's only 25% off. So
wait for it to come down to $9.99. It'll come down to $9.99. Wait for it. All right, Dark Sakura.
Well, this doesn't really have anything to do with cock. Maybe lots of vagina. Skullgirls Encore has a Typing of the Skullgirls mode. Totally inspired by the Typing of the Dead. You will type an on-screen word to do your super attacks. If you type it correctly, your attack will do 1.5 more damage than usual. If right but not perfect, it's regular damage, and incorrect will have a 10% reduction on the damage. It doesn't work online or in tournament mode. So, Typing of the Skullgirls. Also, for anyone who loves to play old PlayStation games on your mobile, you can now play the original Tomb Raider, and it's 99 cents. And it is compatible with iOS 7.0 later, only for iOS. You know what? I would only care if I could play the second one where I could make her explode or break her neck. And then, last but not least, and this is really just more good that the video game community is doing, Microsoft has been putting it out there for the Zoo Tycoon community to actually do something to raise money for endangered species. Each month, Microsoft is launching a Zoo Tycoon community challenge to help raise money to help these animals. And when the challenge's goal has been reached, Microsoft will donate $10,000 to the chosen nonprofit. Players will get update on how the money is spent with reports from Microsoft. So, like, December 31st, this one was released, 1,000 rhinos into the wild in Zoo Tycoon, and they will donate $10,000. Adopt 1,000 Komodo dragons in Zoo Tycoon, and another $10,000. Release 1,000 Sumatran tigers, and, that's what they are. So, hey, they're doing something good. Kudos to them.
We like to hear about gamers doing
We
good.
like the fuzzy animals.
Gaming companies getting people involved and everything. So
I like Komodo dragons.
good stuff.
Entertainment says let's play cocks.
He's talking about chickens, of course. All right, let's get into a segment we do here on OLR called the Foogle Question of the Week. Oop. Wait, wrong music. 180, pull back. There we go. Foogle Question of the Week. All right, every week we ask a question on our Facebook communities, facebook.com/Orange Lounge Radio, and our Google Plus community at google.com/plus Orange Lounge Radio until they, pull our page because they think it's not really us or something. But anyway, we flipped the script a little bit this week because it has been a really slow news week, and I guess we could have asked about the YouTube. I guess we could have asked about something else, but you know what? It seemed like a great excuse for us to do another installment of a segment here on OLR we haven't done in an awfully long time. It's a special holiday edition of Ask Orange Lounge.
For real this time.
Let's Ask Orange Lounge some stupid question. Well, will we find out this week on Orange Lounge Radio? We pulled Facebook and Google, and thank God we're still on Google, but we might not be much longer if they keep up this fuckery. All right.
It timed well.
I should, honest to God, be on Whose Line Is It Anyway, because I make that shit up on the spot, right? I miss my calling. Wayne Brady.
Get down with Aisha.
I'm coming for you. All right.
It's not Wayne Brady. It's Aisha. Well,
Wayne Brady's
you would take
one of
his
the stars.
Yeah.
All right, anyway. Jason is going to be fielding our Foogle questions this week because some of our listeners are asking us questions. Are we doing every question tonight, or are you just picking some of your favorites?
I'll jump around a little bit and
Jump around a little
see
bit.
how many we go for time.
Pick your favorites, yeah, for time purposes. Don't drag this out too long.
Tech 2030 starts us off with a ringer.
All right.
Nothing off limits? Okay, I'm going to get crazy with this one.
All right.
What's your favorite color?
My favorite color is dark green, sometimes dark purple, depending on my mood. Darkstalker?
Black, because it depends on your version of color theory. It's either all of the colors or none of the colors.
Loki?
Sadly enough, because of the show, I did a lot of orange stuff, so orange.
There you go.
I almost bought an orange bike.
You know, I always find it like one of our super fans who is really wonderful, Misty. If she's out there, I don't see her in chat. She's probably on a train somewhere. But hi, Misty, if you're out there listening, I always love that she'll see something orange and she'll like text me a picture of it or something. She's like, I had to buy it. I just think it's great. Anyway, so yeah, your favorite color should be orange, Tech 2030. But if not, then, green, black. All right.
What about my answer?
Okay,
Yeah,
Jason,
what
what's your
about
answer?
you?
What about your answer?
It's without going
Circuit
too
board
crazy with it.
green.
What's funny is that I actually don't really have a favorite color anymore. Growing up, it was green. It kind of started to change to blue in the last couple of years. I don't really identify a favorite color anymore. It's kind of weird, but green was the biggest portion of my youth for an incredibly long time.
Do you know I had green hair once?
I do not think I've seen pictures, so I will go with no.
I was in college in Alabama.
Definitely did not see pictures.
So I was probably about 20 years old and had the top. You know how people now are like doing their hair two different colors, not the ombre thing, but the underside one color. The underside stayed brown. The top was forest green manic panic, which I don't even think you can get that color anymore.
Fifth Dream. I love this comment in the chat room at live.vognumber.com. Fifth Dream says, let me answer. I have no answer. That's what Jason just did.
Yeah.
But Jason, I was going to say this. Don't you say you may not have particularly a favorite color, but don't you like when you go shopping for clothes or something, you're kind of like drawn to one color? Like my friends make fun of me because a lot of my wardrobe is like all earth colors, like brown and like and it's kind of true. Like I wear a lot of brown and green.
I wear a lot of brown and black.
I wear earth colors.
I don't go shopping for clothes. I buy funny T-shirts off the internet.
That's true.
I go shopping for jeans,
A lot
and
of nerds
that's
do that.
about it.
I do go thrifting pretty regularly, and if I'm going to look for something to modify, I tend to look for colors that aren't going to be completely outdated in 5 years.
All right.
So
My favorite color will be whatever color shoes I wind up getting, because I really do need to go.
This is
shoe
going on
shopping.
way too
Yes,
long
yes,
for a
yes,
freaking
yes.
color.
Yes,
Ask
yes,
another
yes.
question.
another question.
PJ would like to ask, biggest letdown title or game-related news of the year?
Biggest letdown title or game-related news of the year? Ooh, I'd really have to look at like some of the stories from this year to remember.
I know what let me down. Sorry.
Go for it.
When my Mass Effect 3 datapad stopped working, so I couldn't stay at 100%. True.
True story.
Because I just uninstalled that thing after having it on my phone for a year.
Loki, can you think of anything, a big disappointment or a big gaming news disappointment for this year?
Saints Row 4.
Ooh, why did I know he was going to go there? I just knew he was going to go there. I have to stew on this one a little longer. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Maybe I'm tempted to go for the easy answer and say Xbox's original policies. But, to be fair, they did change it and everything's cool now, and then the new consoles are doing just fine, so I can't really hate on that too much. Maybe the biggest I'm going to say this. The biggest disappointment for me this year is third-party publishers openly pooping on the Wii U. EA's attitude towards the Wii U is my biggest disappointment this year. I think that would be my honest-to-God answer.
That's a good answer. I honestly don't have an answer to that question, just because my involvement, lack of, precludes me from that this year. I'm not in the new consoles. My
Get up to speed. You got the controllers, though. You got the controllers.
I'm contributing in other ways right now. And I'm
Another
perfectly happy
question.
with that.
Another
I'm
question.
getting there. SSJ 100 Matt says, if there were a VOG/OLR con, who would you want as the keynote speaker?
Ooh.
Me. No.
I would want Jason Enos to be one of the speakers.
Yeah, I miss him.
I don't know if necessarily the keynote, but I just think as far, we have a lot as far as DDR community, which remember this show started as a music game community show, which was in large part to DDR. I think we directly have Jason to thank for that kind of happening in the US in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So I sort of think we owe that debt, if nothing else, to him. So I would hope if there is a con, we can convince him to come say hello. Keynote speaker.
I want the guy that plays Seikata Sanshiro. to be our keynote speaker and to do it in character?
I want Sid Meier to come give the keynote because I'm a whore for civilization and covert action and many of the things he's done. Stop rolling your eyes, Dark Sakura.
I
Stop it.
wasn't rolling my eyes. I was looking up.
Loki, you have an answer?
I have no idea. The president of Pinkberry.
Yeah!
Wait, not the co-founder guy that got arrested for all that fucked up stuff or got to court. He did some really fucked up stuff. Not him.
Not him.
All right, not him. All right, Jason, I don't know if you have an answer, but if not, another question.
Me? I'm the voice. No.
Yeah, actually, Jason would be the voice that would announce all the speakers.
I would definitely introduce the keynote speaker. How's that?
Sorry. Redtertainment says a keynote address from Rob's mom. I think Bobby Blackwolf should give a speech.
Yes, Bobby.
What shouldn't if there's going to be a keynote speaker that's the first? Shouldn't Bobby Blackwolf open OLR Con?
Hell yes.
With commentary by your mom.
All right,
Rob, who's that guy up there?
there's the definitive answer. Bobby and my mother. All right,
VogCon.
and Travis Donovan too. To be fair. All right.
Because the name came up, Hunter R would like to ask, Dear Storage Lounge, is Pinkberry one of those make-your-own frozen yogurt places?
It's even better.
Better flavor. You don't make it your own. It's kind of traditional, like Baskin-Robbins behind-the-counter style, but the ingredients are
fresh
delectable
and good and beautiful.
And they're not paying us, so I hate that we keep giving them free advertising, but it is really good.
But they friended us both on Twitter.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Their base flavor is more tart than your standard yogurt. It's not vanilla, so it has more of it's more Greek yogurt style. And I know that might sound a little weird, but trust me, the frozen yogurt is like real fucking good.
However, their chocolate is one of the lowest sugar soft serve yogurts that you can get from anywhere.
Yeah, and it is pretty low calorie unless you get like peanut
butter.
And
you can get a mini size, which is perfect.
Or you can get it in a cone if you're feeling like having a fat day, like I do a lot. All right, if there's nothing else to add to that, then another question.
Did we get Loki's answer?
On what makes Pinkberry different? I don't think there's much you can add to that.
Fair enough. Yeah, good point. We will then end with the one that I completely lost sight of, and it's in here somewhere. Fifth Dream asks, what is the one game each of the host thinks has been too ignored and should be played by everyone? In other words, is there a little-known game you would force everyone to play if you could?
Oh, shit.
I have really picked the winners.
These are questions I wanted more warning on. One game I would make everybody play if I could.
Looking at the shelf of games over there.
I'm not in my vault, so I really can't say.
I'll go for the easy cop-out answer, but it's so true because I need people to understand why we love the Guardian Legend.
Yes. Well, that was what I was going to say, but I knew you'd pick it too.
Sure. Loki, is there a game you'd make? Oh, wait, no. Wait.
It's coming to me. It has 4 letters.
It starts with grand and ends with 5.
It's little known.
It's not little known, and no, I would say Earth Defense Force.
That's what I was sure you'd go
or 2025.
Or Excite Truck.
Oh, yes, Excite Truck.
is actually a very worthy answer.
Some folks in chat, Redtertainment, saying Mass Effect.
But it's not little known.
That would be Shane's answer anyway.
Yeah. Shane's not here, so fuck it.
Katamari sprang to mind for me pretty much immediately.
Oh, yeah.
But I think that's just above the cusp of little known. It had a pretty reasonable bout of success.
Believe it or not, if you think about it, we probably have some 17 and 18-year-olds that listen to this show that were probably kind of young when that game first came out. They might have missed it. Yeah. I know. We're getting older by the year.
I rather think that I would have said Fantasy Zone because it is one of my favorite little shooter games of all time. It is my second favorite video game. But it is fairly well known in the classic gaming community because it's a big Sega title. It's been out forever. So I am going to go... fuck it, I'll just go with Fantasy Zone.
There is a part of me that wants to go like super duper old school and say everybody, like, you know, because some of y'all missed the Atari 2600, and I would say
Kangaroo.
You all need to experience the frustration but yet awesome that comes with playing Sword Quest. Any of them. Airworld, Earth, or what was Airworld didn't come out here. What was the first one that came out? I think it was Earthworld was the first. I don't remember. They all kind of blurred together for me. But that first Sword Quest game.
Now I will tell you, as far as old school Game Boy games that not many people would think of, Revenge of the Gator.
Oh yeah, I loved Revenge of the Gator.
That was a good game.
Jason?
I actually would say Mother 3. I definitely think Earthbound was little known, but playing the whole series is worth it. But Mother 3 is a fantastic game. Like, that's something I've actually not finished it myself, but I've seen the entirety of the game beginning to end. That game is just straight up fun. Like, its battle system has the charm of Mario RPG. Great writing, great music. The story is a bit against the grain, against the cuff. It's quite fun. Like, seek out this game if you even know what Earthbound is. Obviously, it's technically Earthbound 2. It is the same in the storyline.
All right, wait, hold on. Before we wrap, I just wanted to say I had to look it up, and it was Earthworld. It was going to bug me. Sword Quest Earthworld was the first one, and Fireworld was out too.
Wasn't that the one where they had the contest?
Mm-hmm.
Where you would win like all of this stuff, but they never finished the series?
Mm-hmm. And just for the old school OLR people, I also have to throw out there Burger Time. You have to play Burger Time.
I would agree with that. That was a fun, silly classic.
Why
It
is.
The hotel that I usually stay at in San Francisco has a little set top arcade, flat top arcade, multi main type thing, and I always plop down and play Burger Time on it if I'm not doing anything else.
Good
It's fun.
times.
We will end with
Yay, one more. Another question.
We will end with William Murderface asking, which game releases are all of you looking forward to in 2014? What is the first big thing on your radar for 2014?
Whatever the next Mass Effect is. Because I kind of really don't care about much else.
One was announced, wasn't it? Not exactly a core game, but something related to it?
It's outside the trilogy story. It's like a new
Still
thing.
Mass Effect.
And I love the universe so much that there's still this hopeful little spark inside of me that hasn't been completely stomped on by the writing team that hopes that there might be something a little bit less human-centric out. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. If I'm going to be disappointed, let me be disappointed. Let me be heartbroken. But I still want to see what it is.
Believe it or not, Destiny, which might surprise you because I don't
believe
usually
it.
talk about
Sure,
first-person
many people
shooters,
do.
but I'm really excited to check that game out. And I'm hoping Nintendo gets Smash Brothers out this next year because I'm really looking forward to that as well. Loki, what are you most looking forward to in 2014?
Well, I want to check out No Man's Sky because that looks pretty sweet. And then, I don't know. There's not a whole ton I'm actually looking forward to so far. It would be nice if Sunset Overdrive came out because that looked like a really interesting trailer. But then again, so did what was it? Fuse, I think, was the one. Yeah, that was by Insomniac that ended up sucking. So I don't know. We'll have to see. I think there's just going to be a lot of stuff that we haven't seen announced yet. That's going to be pretty good.
I'm hoping too that there'll be like something announced at E3 that we just don't know of yet, and I think that is also my answer. So,
You wanted me to ask you the RuPaul's Drag Race question, didn't you?
is there's a Drag Race question?
Loco Poco asks, who are you rooting for in Season 6?
So far, just based off the videos themselves and nothing else, I think Ben De La Creme's my favorite.
His picks were Kelly Mantle and Courtney Act.
I think Courtney Act is almost a sure win for the top 3. That, by the way, that's what Courtney Act is Australian, so her name is really Courtney Act. Courtney Act. Which you gotta love that. Come on, that's a great drag name. But I think she's too good for the show. I know that sounds really horrible, but she's like huge in Australia already. Like, it's just kind of weird. I don't know. But I also I think Kelly Mantle, even though she had her own logo special a couple years ago and also might be too big for the show, I think she's gonna do very well too. But I liked Ben De La Creme based off the videos.
So that concludes Orange Drag Radio.
Yep.
Thank you all for your questions.
For those of you that actually know, if you actually know what the Reading is Fundamental podcast is, there might be like 2 people out there listening, that is going to come back this next year. So I'll say that much. So Google it or look it up on iTunes. All right. Let's move on. We've got more gaming news to get to. Loki.
All right, so the first set of indie games coming to Xbox One are going to be hitting March 2014. This is part of that ID at Xbox program that they have there. This includes stuff from Half Brick Studios, Double Fine, Crytek, and Vladimir. So that's nice that they're finally going to start having some decent indie games on there.
Anything in particular that you personally are looking forward to?
Not really, because I haven't really seen. I think a lot of it's just going to be ports of stuff that we're seeing already are coming to like the PlayStation 4 and stuff. So I haven't really heard of any like standout indie games. I mean, aside from even though I've purchased it on pretty much every platform, Minecraft would be interesting to see what they do with Minecraft on the next gen platforms.
All right. Yeah, I'm curious to see how Minecraft is on the next-gen platforms, too. I'm thinking it'll be unlimited-size worlds again, or, like it is on PC. It'll just be more like PC, but with some of the console enhancements, and I think that'll be pretty cool. So, all right, well, there was a Killer Instinct tournament that happened, and it caused a lot of news to spread around the internet about, like, wildfire, about the Xbox One and some DRM checks, because everybody's like, did the DRM magically come back to the Xbox One? Because what happened is there was actually this clip going on of a Killer Instinct tournament, and what happens partway through this tournament is that the Xbox One comes up to the dashboard and says, do you own this game or app? If you have the disc, insert it now. If there's no disc, make sure you're signed into Xbox Live. If you don't have the rights for playing it, you'll need to buy it at the Xbox Store. So everybody was like, oh my God, the Xbox One's doing check-ins and da-da-da-da-da. Well, now, Bobby talked about this on his show a little bit tonight as well and kind of give some insight to this, so I'm going to just totally bite off what he said. But basically, it wasn't that the Xbox was necessarily doing an online check-in, because if you think about it, I mean, logically think about it, it would have already been connected once in the past 24 hours. Why would it suddenly disconnect during the tournament? The problem is that somebody was playing the game on a system that wasn't theirs. They were playing it on a different system. And if you think about it, Xbox and even PlayStation kind of already do that today. So this isn't necessarily something new. It just happened in the middle of a game. Now, not that I'm necessarily defending what's happening here, because that is really weird that it would have allowed the game to launch in the first place and that it stops the game in progress or what have you. That's a little bit weird, and that there ought to be a little bit of give when you're going to go over to friends' houses and play games or do these tournaments or what have you. But, if you're going to play these games, make sure they're on the Xbox you bought them on, or these things might happen. You can't just go around and take your digital game and download it on all these other different consoles. It isn't going to work that way. It doesn't work that way on the 360. Bobby Blackwolf chimes in and says their 4G dropped. That's what happened. So it was, checking on the internet, and then it dropped. This happens on my 360 games today, actually, because I had to get my console replaced because of the red ring. And even though I transferred my licenses, for some reason, whenever I play an older game, like I go into Geometry Wars, let's say, that was like the first arcade game I bought on Xbox 360, I go into Geometry Wars, I see the demo title screen for like 2 seconds, and then all of a sudden it flips to the retail screen. Because what it's doing, it's checking the internet, making sure I really own it, and then it will update my demo copy of the game with, oh, Green Sky's trying to play it, he bought the game, here it is. So this already happens on the 360, it's just kind of weird. And Bobby's telling me that the reason why it's still checking is that if I do the license transfer, you still have to delete and re-download the game. Well, good lord, it's a lot of games, Bobby, it's like 50 games. I'd rather just be online, honestly. And how often am I playing my old 360 games anymore? Once every few months. That's it. So just bottom line, keep the digital rights rules in the back of your head, because it's going to be the same, on 360 in these systems. And, no, they did not suddenly insert in all these rules that they explicitly said they weren't going to do. So be careful in jumping to conclusions, gaming journalists. I'm watching. I'm watching you face. I'm watching you. All right, Dark Sakura, what do you have for us?
We've been having a discussion about aliens.
Really?
Yes.
Are they real?
No. So I brought up NAMCO High.
I think you're wrong.
Huh?
I think you're wrong. There's aliens. We just don't know them yet. Star Trek is real.
No, but I guarantee you, if they showed up, we'd try to fuck them.
What? Or with
If fandom is to be believed.
somebody would ship them in 30 seconds.
Rule
Rob,
34 is
anything can be shipped.
I know. Oh, trust me. I know.
Especially the ship from Galaga. How's that for a transition? Yeah, NAMCO High, I've been playing it, and it's fucking weird. It's a dating sim. It's more like a visual novel, really, less, a dating sim. Although, if you really want to just romance somebody, all you have to do is pick them and only them and do all of their scenes, and you're guaranteed cute little romances. But you have certain characters that you can romance, like Mr. Driller or Lolo from Klonoa, or the Galaga ship, who is awesome. Galaga refers to Galaga in the third person. Galaga is amazing. Galaga says, "Greetings, humans." Of course, when I played it, I got the deluxe set. You can unlock the characters for $1.95 individually if you want to get past the... and, ew, no, I wouldn't want a fucking Asari. Yuck. I mean... I was trying to talk about Homestuck. I mean, NAMCO High Stuck. So anyway, you start off the game. You can, you've got all of your NAMCO characters. You can also pay for premium characters for $1.95 a pop, $4.95 in sets of 3, or $14.95 for the whole set, which is actually what I did. And I got like the soundtrack, and because I did the pre-order thing. So I have 18 dateable characters, and like I said, I mentioned Homestuck. There are 3 Homestuck characters in it. You have Terezi, who I dated first because she's awesome. And then you have Dave Sprite, who made me sad. And James, who was freaking weird. And then after that, I think the next one I did was Donko, the drum from Taiko no Tatsujin, who starts off on her cell phone in detention. She's like the total Valley Girl type character. And then I did Richard Miller from Time Crisis, who was kind of weird. Everyone's really just bizarre in this game. Mm-hmm. But they're all bizarre in an incredibly entertaining way. And, like, Pac-Man comes out and gives you advice, but the advice is always be true to yourself, although sometimes the advice is maybe you shouldn't be true to yourself. And, like, the principal is Dig Dug. And
That's awesome.
The detention teacher is King from Tekken. And the only sound he ever makes is a roar, and then he yells at you. It's really out there and super funny, and I think the whole thing was well done. And, and for a lot of these games, there's people who may not get all the games that, these characters came from, like Albatross and Hitomi and Amazonia. And, Fifth Dream posted a picture of Galaga talking to the cousin. You play the cousin of the Prince of All Cosmos who gets thrown in detention because he rolled up the school into a giant Katamari. It's just funny. You have to like fight evil NAMCO High at one point, and they're all robots. And
so I didn't realize this game was actually already out.
Yeah, it's an HTML5 game, which
interesting.
The HTML5 was done by a group called Date Naito. And I've actually emailed them to ask them what their licensing costs are for their engine, because I'm trying to do a webcomic in Flash, but I would like to be able to do a visual novel style and have it be accessible for people on iOS. So, but yeah, it's cute. And if anybody wants to see other screen caps from it, you can go to my Tumblr, kurotsubasa.tumblr.com. I might repost some stuff on the OLR Tumblr. So,
all right.
It's fucking cute.
NAMCO dating sim. Good times. Weird.
Well, it's
weird.
Sort of dating sim, but really more visual novel.
All right.
Yeah.
A good waste of time.
Yeah.
A waste of time in a good way.
I can sit there for like 30 minutes and go, oh, and it usually actually only takes me that long because I'm doing screen caps, because I'm like, what the fuck did they just say?
All right. Moving on. Loki, I don't know if your story's on a dating sim, but...
No, thank goodness. No, it's talking about the Steam Machine teardowns, because, just recently the 300 people that made it into the hardware beta received their prototype Steam Machines, and of course, iFixit somehow got one as part of their teardown pages that they do, and they found out that there's a ton of expensive stuff in there, including a NVIDIA GTX 780, also a Core i5 4570 running at 3.6 gigahertz, and pricing everything out, it looks like that machine runs roughly about $1,300. So pretty powerful little PC.
I want one.
Yeah, me too.
They're going to sell a $1,500 TV-connected device.
That does seem... I just don't know who the audience is for those high-end machines. I think the low-end ones have more potential to do more business, but I don't know.
Less games.
Well, not necessarily. Some of those Steam games don't take much, especially the indie stuff.
This whole thing, every time I hear, like, I'm really, really into it. I mentioned in the intro last week that SteamOS was out for hobbyists and system builders. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to dip my toes in and see if there's something that I can do with it and see what they come up with. I'm very interested in this. But the hardware portion of it, sans the controller, doesn't make a lick of sense to me. We don't plug computers into our TVs. The people that actually plug computers into their TVs are incredibly few in the larger, in the larger community. The things that get plugged into TVs are small, tiny little crap. I've completely forgotten the word. Home entertainment system,
demographic.
Devices. And I'm insanely interested. At the same time, I don't understand it, and it's going to be a very interesting 2014 for Valve. That's about all I can say.
Well, I'm more interested in kind of like the front end, how everything's going to work, because mainly, I would love to have, I'm not necessarily going to buy a $1,300 PC, but I'd like to be able to build a PC and have kind of that front end experience that you get with like a console nowadays with, the integration with Netflix and the different apps and stuff that you can put on there and, and have it work pretty seamless. It would be nice. Like Steam Big Picture Mode works great. It would be nice if there was non-gaming apps. I know they sell software and stuff. I'm talking about like, Skype and Netflix, Hulu, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I was talking about with the PS4 controller, I'm very close to turning Steam onto Big Picture Mode by default so that I can just grab my controller, turn it on because it's Bluetooth paired and go to it. It's a nice interface, and there's going to be a lot of benefits to it. It's just the machine itself that confounds me.
All right. Jason, let's go ahead and move on to the next story.
Anyways, isn't it?
That's right. Well, wait, let me read a quick comment from our chat. Sorry. ActDeft at live.vognetwork.com says, remember, people, the beta build of the Steam machine is exclusive to the beta, and it's not one model of the Steam machine. Well, yeah, we mentioned that's a high-end system and that, there's low-end systems as well, and maybe that's more the audience for it. But it's going to be interesting to see how these things, do put up against the console.
They can't bring down those costs that much. And
well, you may spend more in the the front end buying the console, but you can't argue those deals, man.
We'll see.
This is very true.
All right, now we'll move on. Jason.
All right. X-Men and The Simpsons Arcade have suddenly disappeared from the PlayStation Network. They are still available on Xbox Live Arcade, and doubly so considering that they are also available on the Last Chance on Marvel Games sale that Xbox Live is currently running right now. No official word. The Polygon has reached out to Konami to figure out why this has happened. But no changes in price on Xbox Live Arcade, but outright removed from Sony's PlayStation Network listings. Licensing, maybe. It remains to be seen that it's so console specific.
It could also be that the holidays are delaying activity on Xbox Live. I would be interested to see if that's still the case in 2 weeks.
Delistings do not require human intervention. If they wanted something delisted, it's gone. Either that or, legal marketing, whoever deals with this at Konami just plain fucked up.
Maybe.
You delist it. You either schedule a delisting or you take it down. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about this.
I'm just thinking back to the Skullgirls stuff last week, and it seemed like it was staggered on the two. And
that had a contractual end though, so they wouldn't do it before then, and everybody was aware that was actually going to happen. This is just a straight delisting for games that probably don't even really need it.
Well, and Simpsons was a PlayStation Plus free game for a while. That's how
Mhm.
I got it, which I find interesting.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, sadly, not going to be able to get that anymore. I wonder if it's still on their servers, though. So if I delete the game from my drive, can I actually get the game back? In fact, oh, shit, I think I did delete it. I wonder if I can get it back. Uh-oh. Might be gone
Never
forever.
know what you lose until it's
I
gone.
guess so. All right. Well, we appreciate all the emails we get every week, and we try not to lose those. And yes, it's the same theme song for the mailbag. Darkstalker's going to dive into the mailbag head first. Mailbag at orangeloungeradio.com. And
He
maybe
left this goo in here.
maybe you'll be asking us things, or maybe you'll be telling us things. It's the mailbag segment. Darkstalker, take it away.
This one was to me. Dear Jamie, I was offended on your behalf for the email bashing you guys for voicing your opinion on the VGX show. What benefit do people get from writing into talk shows to bash commentators for their thoughts? I wasn't really offended. And Reagan's policies didn't actually destroy the economy. They saved it from the gas lines of the Carter. Yeah, but it set the pace for the thing we have now. But
Too much politics. Syntax error. Ready.
He also built the foundation for the prosperity we saw in the 90s. It took Clinton and Bush #2 to really ruin the economy, and Nickelback doesn't completely suck. They only kind of suck. Thanks for the great show, Labrat Y2K.
That was a laundry list of internet insult memes right there.
I could argue the politics behind that with some hard numbers, but I will not. Got one from CK Ender. Hey OLR, I'll start by saying I've been a loyal podcast listener for about 2 years, and I hope you'll keep doing what you're doing, as you guys are an integral part of my Monday afternoons. Hopefully I won't be criticized too harshly on grammar, but something I heard on the show this past weekend, 12/15/13, stuck with me. I understand if this topic is too political to read on the show, but I felt like I had to write this. When you folks mentioned the NSA is spying on our MMOs, I felt like there is a bit of a misinformation on the lack of information you've been provided with. There's a more global reach to what they are doing. It's not only to listen for communications of any terrorist activities or things of that nature. It's a known fact that in 2011, North Korea formed several farms for WoW Gold, which it was selling the proceeds of funding their nuclear weapons program. Yeah, there was that too. Where was I? The practice is comparable to diamond trafficking from Africa to fund warlords, or the opium trades in the Middle East funding any of the terrorist groups there. Now, I'm not employed by the NSA or any government agency for that matter, but it's been speculated that what they are doing is making purchases from these gold sellers and tracking the funds in an effort to shut down the operations and thus limiting the funds of our national adversaries. Sure, people may think it's a waste of taxpayers' monies to have people sit around and play WoW, but frankly, if it can help financially disarm a nuclear program, then why not? That's a very good point. The age we live in is not only an age of physical conflict, but wars are fought in cyberspace as well. The fact that this is just coming to open news does not mean it's not something that has been going on for ages. The example I cited earlier is not the only one. China has been using prisons to farm gold for sellers in several MMOs, while being, of course, the predominant one due to its population. Now, once a player purchases from any gold seller, it opens them up for identity fraud, thus providing further resources such as additional funds, social security numbers, ID, and things of that sort. And as tensions grow tighter in international affairs, it's reasonable that the government looks into this. Think of all the folks who buy gold on a daily basis. Players may feel they're getting ahead in a video game, but they may also be unknowingly funding nuclear warfare, foreign governments, and any other number of illicit trades or activities.
Can I stop here for a minute, just real quick, just because I have to say this, because as a big-time MMO player and all this really bugs me. People need to stop buying gold online. People need to realize what, and I don't necessarily think every time they're buying gold, they're necessarily funding all of this. Not to discredit the emailer's opinion, because I think it's a very well thought out point, and I think this emailer brings up some good points that are completely valid. But I just think we need to, as MMO players, to stop buying gold in the first place, because not only is it necessarily funding this stuff, but it's funding the theft of accounts. It's funding these companies that will do anything to get the gold in game, including compromised accounts, and you're usually putting your own self at risk. Do not buy third-party currency in these games. You are part of the problem if you're doing that.
Well,
I had to get that off my chest because it's a huge pet peeve of mine.
No, I'm with you on that one too. But I do have to say that the gold farming scheme from North Korea ended up not being a very big contributor to their programs.
Make it not worth it.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. We all have to take that responsibility.
If I'm
Make
right,
it not worth
it was abandoned.
Educate
so
other players.
Information went. Anyway, let me get back into where was I?
Yes.
So to say F the NSA, they're a bunch of spies spying on Americans, as some people have, is not entirely accurate. So with that, I wouldn't say they are looking on the average player who could leak information or communicate with terrorist cells, but to limit the financial gain of any group or nation who wishes to fund themselves in this nature. And that's a good point. But I don't think, however, that the attempts to do so in the past have been as successful as they were probably hoping it would be. That's my thought, but I'll continue.
Maybe if there was a little less transparency, there'd be more people kind of quick to believe that if they could see this value that you're pointing out. But to be fair, I mean, we're kind of making assumptions to agree with this emailer, too. There's assumptions all around, right?
Well, let me read the next part. As for the right to do this, a thing that happened shortly after 9/11 called the Patriot Act. Oh, that's a whole other can of worms. The bill passed with very little contest from anyone, praised by millions. Those who spoke out against it were chastised and berated. It essentially gave the NSA, I'm going to insert a word because I think it was left out, power to do whatever they wish in the defense of terrorism. While I do not know where the hosts of the show stand on that topic in particular, we sit here 12 years later chastising the NSA for doing something the nation encouraged them to do in the first place. I myself was completely against that because it seemed like a big knee-jerk reaction, as many people in this country are apt to do. While I don't have a problem with surveillance, as long as there is transparency that the surveillance is happening, I'm perfectly fine with that. I would have no problem with CCTV all over the place. Because honestly, the only people who should be worried about having their stuff tracked are people who have something to hide.
Not all, I mean, not to get too political, but just something to think about. Not all surveillance is necessarily bad. Here's an example. I like it when the mall parking lot has surveillance, so that if something happens to my car,
you have it on tape. Or what about for those hotels that have CCTV and caught, murders happening or, people being attacked? Or what about that whole, what's that called, the knockout game thing?
But when you're going to the mall, maybe the criminals are too dumb to remember, but you're probably going to be on film. But it's when that privacy, that reasonable expectation for privacy is breached that people get pissed off. And I think a lot of people assumed that the cybering they were doing in MMO games was private.
Well, honestly, and I'm just going to say this right now, I have no problem with having my dirty laundry out there because, honestly, the fuck they don't
let's
care.
Get started, girl.
No. I don't think you know what I mean. If they have my juvie record from when I was in high school
you
or
were in
middle
juvie?
school.
You're
yes,
hardcore.
I was.
I didn't know that.
Yes, I was.
Wow.
Because my mom was not able to handle me because I was a big fucking brat and a lot smarter than she was.
Okay.
End of story. I mean, that's how it is.
Okay.
She will freely admit she couldn't handle me.
Mm-hmm. And
so I was a perfect little angel, and they're like, what the fuck she's doing here? And send me back. That's seriously how it went. And I ran away from home a couple of times because fuck that place.
Wow,
in closing...
This email got a lot. All right.
I don't care who knows that.
It's part of who you are now. Everybody's got something.
It made me the awesome person I am today. So in closing, I do love the show and appreciate that you give everyone a voice and remain subjective. I will happily continue to listen so long as the show continues to be open-minded. Provide me with hours of video game news and overall entertainment. Thank you so much, CK Ender. And for the record, I was not a troublemaker in school. I got in one fight that anyone saw that had a witness.
Would you say your mama got scared?
But by me having one fight?
She missed it.
No, I know what you mean now. No, it wasn't Fresh Prince. No, and I didn't have lots of visits to the principal's office. My problems were strictly at home. But there was this one girl who was just irritating the shit out of me, throwing because I was the gothy, geeky girl that no one liked. Mm-hmm. I mean, until I just made myself a complete nuisance and made friends with everybody because I could and joined every club. it was my revenge. But finally one day she like pushed me in the hall and I turned around and punched her in the face. Like hard. I think I cracked her cheekbone, actually.
Ouch.
But she wouldn't tell anybody that happened, and one of the janitors saw it, and they had been seeing it happen. And they're like, good for you. I'm not telling anybody what happened.
Well, to go back to the email, I just will say I have an open mind with that email. Not to suck up, but just, at the end there, I do have an open mind to that email. I think it was a well-presented perspective. Thank you.
It paints a very good alternative
Yes.
to something that has been a truth for the last decade, and not just the, oh God, NSA spying that every governmental black box is being shoved into in the last year.
It paints a good devil's advocate perspective we weren't able to do
100%.
last week.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I will say, though, we do have some chat comments, of course, over at live.vognetwork.com. Let's see. What was the comment about? MM2K in chat says, okay, that's World of Warcraft, but what about their Xbox Live spying? What's the justification? Dungeon Buster says, if it involves telecommunications, you can always assume that there will be someone out there trying to find a way to tap it. NSA's had its wrist slapped as far back as the 70s. There was congressional outrage, and then nothing happened until the next scandal. This is not their first rodeo. Rama says they've been doing this for years, and now people are acting out about it. Fuck out of here. So, interesting perspectives all over. Let's move on to the next email, though, for time's sake.
Okay. Well, that was actually the end of that email regardless. So thank you for the well-thought-out email. We have 2 left. One of them's all still UT, but it's not long. Hey, guys. First of all...
Good job editing, first off. Thank
First
you.
off, count me among the people who actually like Nickelback. Not the greatest band in the world, but they're enjoyable enough and don't deserve nearly the level of crap they get.
Next email.
Shut up.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Shut up.
I'm kidding.
Secondly, while the show is mostly enjoyable, I have to bring up the continued ignoring of all the other services while looking at the feed of Gabe Newell. You know what? I actually like Steam, so I'm using what I like, so whatever. Well, I don't ask that you ignore Steam sales. They're clearly exciting for Steam's user base, but the way you and most other games media go on, people would be forgiven for thinking that Steam was all that mattered in the PC space. Meanwhile, you guys are ignoring the massive GOG holiday sales, where over 600 plus titles going up to half off, or the massive 48-hour free Fallout giveaway they did. There are also...
I didn't know about it till you just said that.
There are also sales...
I took advantage of that.
What's that, Loki?
I said I took advantage of that.
Why didn't you tell me? It's fine.
There are also sales on indie game stand, Humble Store, and Desura. Recently, the only time you guys have ever mentioned anything other than a Steam sale was not on Steam sale, was basically developers trying to drum up support for getting greenlit. By the way, there was one that Catastrophic Moggy linked me to that, God, I can't remember. It was a UK site that takes international funds, but had a Doctor Who game on there that I was very close to getting, but I cannot for the life of me remember the URL now.
I just want to say, though, you mentioned Humble, or the emailer mentioned Humble Store, and we cover almost every single Humble bundle that comes out because they're always such great deals.
And they give Steam keys.
Yeah.
And I'll mention that the last Steam sale, or maybe the one before last, I was mentioning a lot about, like, Amazon had better deals, and even I think Gamefly was doing some deals and stuff that were better than what was on the Steam store, and there's a lot of alternatives out there.
Steam, and just blanket, I'm sure there's more to come, but just a blanket statement that the reason why Steam tends to get the most coverage is Steam is the most prolific, and not to belittle what the other stores are doing, but keep in mind that Steam is trying to do things that are beyond the storefront. And I love good old games. I think it's great that there's a method set up for some of those classic. I love my classics. I love good old games, and I'm glad to hear they're having sales and a lot of that stuff is available. But keep in mind that Steam also is pushing things forward with the trading card thing, with the family sharing, with the operating system. And even though you might not necessarily be a fan of any of that, you can't deny that these are things that are pushing stores in general and in another direction. That's why they tend to dominate the coverage.
It's a little bit of a two-edged sword, and I know what he's getting at.
Yeah.
You make a very fair point in the sense that there is a lot of non-monetary news like Steam Machine announcement and everything else that's been happened. Yes, Steam does a ton of new things that are making that are making waves in the news. That said, I said just myself today, I picked up Electronic Superjoy for $1.50 and You Don't Know Jack for $5, and we do off the cuff these games that we got for dirt cheap from Steam way more often than any other vendor out there. So I 100% agree with his point. I interject the fact that news is important too, but I completely agree that we definitely do bias Steam for our, look at our deals, look at our steals kind of thing. 3 comments. SSJ100 Matt says, we've mentioned GOG in the past. Keep in mind he does have a deep dislike towards Steam. Brad from Pod Culture says, 75% of my Steam stuff comes from the Humble bundles and the rest from huge sales they have. And Fifth Stream says Indie Royale.
Yeah, I think I bought one of their bundles once. But anyway, no, I mean, and not to belittle the email, it's a fair point that don't all sales deserve equal coverage. And I think this show sometimes, and this has come up on another topic, it tends to be a reflection of what gamers are talking about. And Steam, look at whatever gaming blogs are out there. Steam does typically dominate that coverage. But I'm all for, if there's this great indie thing going on and you guys email in about it or tweet us or get it to our attention, I'm all about getting this stuff exposure. Absolutely.
We have no problem mentioning any of this. It just happens to be whatever we've kind of... And honestly, there's just sometimes I pull up Steam just to peruse their, library, find something completely bizarre, and go, that's freaking weird. Like that... What was that game, Loki? The ballpoint shooter?
Let's see. That was...
Because I bought it.
I have to look it up now because I don't remember. It was Ballpoint Universe Infinite.
Yeah.
And it was one of some green light game that looked pretty cool.
It was just a neat concept. So it was like $2, click. I had that lovely wallet. Thank you, Loki.
You're welcome.
I have used it all up yesterday. To continue with the email, which is nearly done. Again, I feel the need to reiterate that I don't have anything against people who like Steam. However, the media blackout on anything that isn't Steam only serves to undermine what should be an open platform, essentially turning it into a Valve console. While I hope you guys don't take this as offensive, and I rarely do.
Nope. No
though
offense.
I imagine people are already shit-talking me in your chat.
Only a little bit, but not really.
I wouldn't say
really.
shit. I'd
No,
say
I wouldn't either.
I put around the line of a juicy fart. I'm kidding. I actually have zero problem with Raw Steel UT personally.
When points are presented
He makes good points
succinctly
that
like
may
this,
not always be popular.
yes, and I'm all for hearing the points that may not be popular when they're presented in a tactful manner.
Yes. It has to go
When it's
to
fuck
tact.
you fucking fuck, I'm not going to hear it, but he doesn't do that.
No, and see, I have no problem with information being presented to me that may be kind of the opposite of what I think, as long as it's presented in an intellectually and fact-based manner.
And that's kind of 2 emails tonight that have done that.
I know, and I love it. I freaking love it. I mean, that's why I actually look at progressive Republican websites. I don't know if I told you that. To look for the other point, to look for the conservative point of view.
I listen to conservative talk radio.
Done from an intelligent manner. So anyway.
Unfortunately, what I hear isn't always intelligent, but some of it's pretty good. But anyway.
Yeah. Just know that I still enjoy your show. I'm just asking for a teeny bit more fairness. Regards, Raw Steel UT. P.S. I also love me some Lady Gaga. Not a huge fan of Beyonce, though. You were entitled to that opinion.
His music tastes are redeemed a little bit, at least.
I just like calling Beyonce bejesus.
Yeah. Beezus.
No, because that was Beezus and Ramona.
Oh, God. That's right. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
So I can't go there. I have to call her bejesus.
Those were my books growing
Or
up.
if we were going to do the J with the Y sounds, it's bejesus.
All right. More emails?
Yes. Last one.
Last one.
I think. Hi, OLR.
Hi.
Hi. I'm sending you a very last-minute email this week with a timely theme with a question and a response to my own question. Really? Now here we go. Ellipse. Now that the Steam Winter Sale is underway until 1/3/14, what 5 games per person response that are on sale do you think everyone should buy, provided that they don't already have said games and that they actually afford to buy them?
You have to appreciate the irony of this email.
I fucking do.
Win.
You really...
I fucking do.
Even Ross Steele, even though you're sitting there rolling your eyes to the back of your head right now, you have to appreciate the irony.
There are 3 letters on Raw Steel UT's forehead right now, and it's SMH.
All right, anyhow.
Okay. Well, I will go ahead and read our readers, and it's Spazinator, by the way.
Yes.
Or Raginator now. For me, I recommend the following games in no particular order. Flat Out, Magic 2014 Special Edition, The Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion, Strike Suit Zero Mega Bundle, and Pinball FX2 tables, any or all of them. Any and all of them. I don't know, Rob. What do you say?
Civ 5.
Mm-hmm.
Spelunky. Rogue Legacy. Super Hexagon,
Really?
which I haven't talked a lot about on this show, but that fucking thing's addicting as hell. And Path of Exile in the free-to-play section.
I'm probably going to go with the Stanley Parable because it's on sale right now. The Angry Video Game Nerd game. It's a pretty fun little platformer, especially if you're a fan of his reviews. I will also go with DuckTales. It's on sale. Even though I already have it, I'm just saying that for people who don't have it right now, it's on sale, so go get it. God, what else was I playing? Bioshock Infinite, which I haven't started yet, but I'm still excited about playing it. And I'd actually say Dragon Age Origins, because it's $5 now for the whatever great version is, and I have me some elves to play as.
Loki, I don't know if you can think of 5 Steam games or after the email before, any PC platform games that are worth checking out right now?
I would probably go with, it's tough because depending on what you have already, Borderlands 2, if you don't have that already, Bioshock Infinite, probably, let's see, Skyrim. I mean, if you don't have Skyrim.
Good point.
Just Cause 2. Only when it goes on the flash sale because it is only it's funny, it was on sale for more than it is now on sale for. So, but just because of the multiplayer mod, and I guess maybe Surgeon Simulator 2013.
Jason?
My overlap is pretty funny, but You Don't Know Jack, Starbound, Rogue Legacy, Just Cause 2, and Papers, Please, since we've talked about it.
I need to check out Papers, Please myself. Also, Tech 2030 in chat says, even though people don't call it a real, using quotey fingers game, I'm going to say Gone Home. That's another good pick.
Yeah, I need to start that.
All right.
But if anybody out there doesn't have the Stanley Parable, freaking get it.
It's on my list of things to check out. I have it.
Ditto.
I bought it in the last sale. It's just things to check out during this week.
I don't remember if I actually picked it up or not. I know I want to. I know I want to check it
It's
out.
$11 right now.
ActDef suggesting Dust and Elysian Tale. And some folks in chat commenting, Loki, are you wrapping a present in the background? Because we can hear it.
My wife is.
Oh, okay.
Hi, Nelly.
Merry Christmas to whoever. You might just want to mute yourself locally on Skype, Loki, when you're not talking, just so we don't hear the rapping.
Sorry.
That's all right. It takes some getting used to when you do it in person for so long. All right. Where else are we at? That's it for that email, right?
That's it.
That was the last email.
That's it for emails. Mailbag at orangeloungeradio.com if you want to send us an email for a future. And hopefully we'll get some nice... I would love to see 2 emails that counter each other back to back. We need more of that in future weeks. That's always hilarious. Those are my favorite. Some more comments from chat. And this is just PC gaming in general, really. William Murderface saying, don't forget Guild Wars 2 if you're looking for a different MMO experience. I think they're running a promotion right now. I got an email from them. That might be directly through ArenaNet for that. Cial says Reprisal is a good Populist clone that's still being worked on. Did I say ActDef's Dust and Elysian Tale?
Yes.
If I didn't, then I said it again, I guess. All right.
Dive kick.
I'd also say Duke Nukem. Remember Duke Nukem 3D? I think was down to $2, like the old school one, and they have multiplayer in beta now.
It might be in the flash sale at 2 a.m. I know I'll be up checking. All right, let's get to the FUs of the week because we're mad, even though it's the holidays. The holidays bring out the worst in us.
Oh, this is bad. Here is justice. Here is punishment. This is fucked up.
F you, Rob, because Frivolo. No, right now my voice is kind of going out, and I have stuff I have to do this week, and also I'm a little bit jealous that my computer hasn't been upgraded when Dan's was. But I understand our friend that was helping us out has become quite ill, and it's going around. So just feel better soon. To George. You're awesome for doing this for us, and thank you for helping us pick out bits for our computers.
Feel better, George. We have some little banter on Twitter now and again.
By the way, I'm gonna have like 50 bajillion USB ports on the front of my computer or something like that.
Nice. I'll go next. My FU of the week goes to, I think I pulled a muscle last night while I was sleeping because I was super drunk last night, which some of y'all are gonna think I have a problem. I'm always responsible. I wasn't driving or anything. It was just, I was indulging because of the holidays. But I was out with Grandpa last night from Horde House. That's all I have to tell y'all, right? And I think because of that I slept really weird. But I didn't have a hangover today, and Alan did. So I will say thank you to whatever is out there watching over me for not giving me a hangover.
Bless your hydration in your liver.
Yeah, trying to teach me a lesson. Yeah, I did have a bottle of water before I left the place. That was probably smart.
I will tell everybody this, just a piece of advice. If you take a B50 complex and drink a glass of water before you're going to have a night of frivolo drinking too, you are less likely to have a hangover, and also invest in ginger pills because they do help with nausea.
SHA 100 Matt in chat says
B52 complex.
SHA 100 Matt in chat says we got to get Grandpa on OLR. Actually, it's funny you bring that up. We are. He offered yesterday to do a live show from San Francisco at his place, and I actually think that's something we could swing because, ironically enough, Jason's in San Francisco right now, so we just down the street for him. So I'm thinking around the time that Loki's gonna be out because the baby's here. That might be a good time for Jamie and I to get in the car, go to San Francisco. We might actually do that.
As long as I haven't started my job.
So we'll see. We'll see. It is actually a possibility, an OLR roadshow, because if we're in San Francisco, we might be able to get some really great guests in studio.
You know who else is going to be there?
Huh. Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
So it's on the list. That's all I'm going to say. Loki, your turn.
All right, I guess FU to my mouth because it's still a little bit sore from surgery. But it's almost done. I can eat food now.
Woo!
All right. Glad to hear you're getting better, though. Jason.
FU to this stupid cough I still can't quite kick, and has also seemed to want to be more prolific despite cough drops in the last 30 minutes, hour, something like that. I'm sure all this talking is not exactly helping it too terribly well, but whatever. FU to money, again, just kind of in general, but more specifically GE Financial. They're dumb, and the fact that they make it so hard for me to be able to actually see bills and manage finances. You're making it hard. You're going against the ability for utilities to actually make things easier, credit, debt planning, that kind of stuff. GE Financial, FU. Lastly, awkward moments in public. I was at the post office, and there were customers that decided to get into, not literally, but verbal fisticuffs with each other. And it was insanely awkward, and I had to make sure that I didn't want to jump in and try to pacify it because I would not have pacified it. I wouldn't have done anything, but I would not have pacified it. I just would have gotten involved. There is inevitably a mental illness that spearheaded a large portion of this, which is unfortunate. But the moment itself, FU.
All right. Let us start to wrap up the show here with just a couple more stories, and then we're going to open up the Skype line. And yes, you can still call 1-877-GAME-OLR, username on Skype, Orange Lounge Radio, but we're not there just yet. We have a couple more stories for you guys first. Loki.
Yes, and since we talked about the VGX over the last few weeks, the final numbers are in. They had 1.1 million views, which exceeded their expectations. And they said there's a lot of great feedback that came out of it, and sure, there's people calling for the date and time of my suicide. And this is Jeff Keeley. Says, but there were people also said very constructive things about the show, and so it sounds like that it was a success, and they're planning on doing it next year as well. They said people from 109 countries tuned in. Average viewer spending 32 minutes watching it, which is funny because it's about the time I watched it, about 30 minutes.
So you were Joe Average in that case.
I guess so.
Is that your cat?
That is my cat. She just got let out of because she was getting into all the wrapping stuff. So we had to lock her in the middle bedroom, and she comes out and does her cry and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, she's a douchebag sometimes.
So it sounds like the VGX was really well rated, so it probably is coming back next year, despite anything we might have said that week it aired. So
maybe without Joel McHale this time.
Yes.
Would be my guess.
Yeah, or more like the version that was on TV, which was totally edited and different, but we'll see.
They should do like a Aisha Tyler or something like that. 'Cause she's actually kind of into games and stuff, and I think that would be pretty good. And maybe give some comedy lessons to Jeff there.
I'd love to see Aisha Tyler involved with that. That would be fun. But we'll see. All right. Lastly but not leastly, a story on the Atari 2600. Well, okay, it's not really like the console. There's nothing new happening with the console. But there's a documentary being made about the game crash, the game industry crash of 1983, which, really took out the Atari 2600. And then, of course, they buried all the cartridges in the desert. Well, they actually made a documentary about this. And I seem to remember talking about this on a show before, that this documentary was in progress. Well, the Canadian film production company Fuel Industries actually is going to this landfill to try to find all the cartridges. Although, you're going to find a bunch of melted plastic. That's what. Whatever. But anyway, this whole thing is going to happen from this film company, and they're actually going to release a documentary on Xbox on 2014. This is through the new media company that Microsoft has, Lightbox. So this is one of those, I guess, maybe Xbox exclusive programs things to kind of compete with Netflix. I mean, Netflix does exclusive documentaries. They're really heavily promoting their Mitt Romney documentary they're going to be doing about how they were there when it's on camera when he found out he lost the election. So that's going to be in a new documentary on Netflix. So this is kind of like, Xbox is beefing up with its own gaming documentary. So I think that's cool. Dark Soccer, you like documentaries?
I do. I actually watched quite a number of them.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, yesterday I watched a whole series about the medieval attitude towards marriage, birth, and death. And with the change of the Anglican Reformation.
Would they call that Romney documentary The Biggest Loser?
Ha ha.
No, stop. It's just called
Red
Ned.
Entertainment said, we didn't find shit. The documentary where we don't find shit. You
It'll
probably will find some shit, but
It'll
not
be
the
like-
shit you're looking for.
It'd be like when Geraldo opened that tomb.
I was just thinking that. Look, nothing. Yeah. So, oh well.
All right.
It's going to be a big bomb, and everyone's going to be like, yay, bomb.
That is it for the news. We are about to go to the Skype line, but since I do have to free up the Skype line for the night, this is the part of the show where we're going to say goodbye to Loki. Loki, thanks for being here on the show tonight.
Not a problem.
Do you have any final? Well, first I should ask, do you have any quick last-minute stories for our listeners, or?
Just one small one. It's Grand Theft Auto 5 related. There's going to be, actually, it was kind of leaked out that there's going to be some Christmas DLC. They've already started patching it in, and if you happen to be playing Grand Theft Auto Online, if you look up at the sky, you'll notice that some light snow is falling, and pretty soon that light snow is going to turn into heavy snow as we get towards Christmas. So, full snow in Los Santos, and there's going to be some Santa costume thing that you can get for your characters.
All right. Loki, thanks for being on the show tonight. Have a wonderful holiday. Have fun with Christmas with Josh and Nellie and all that. And do you have any final thoughts for listeners tonight?
No, not really. Just have a good holiday, everyone.
All right. Well, thanks for being here tonight, Loki, and take care of yourself, and best of luck.
Rub your wife's feet.
Yes. Rub your
Already
wife's
am.
feet.
She's sitting right here.
All right. Hi, Nellie. Bye, Nellie. All right. Bye, you guys. Take care.
All right, bye.
All right. Loki, I don't know if he'll pop in chat. He might show up in chat a little later in the show. We'll see.
I thought he was already in chat.
All right. But in the meantime, Jamie's going to answer this call.
I am?
Yes, because Alan just brought dinner. I want dinner. So, sorry about it.
Hey, this is OLR. What's up?
Hey, this is Deft.
Hi, Act Deft. Thank you for visiting my village. I'm glad you still love Animal Crossing.
Well, I still play it on occasion. Not as much as I did a few months ago, but but I may pick it up again to do the rest of the stuff I haven't done.
I browbeat
Okay.
Dan into making a tent in my village.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw the tent, and I left Dan a present too. Well, a letter and a present.
So what's up tonight?
Well, a little follow up to the email Ross Steele UT sent. Basically, there's a lot of sites that sell or do bundles, sells games for cheap. DRM, Steam activated, and all that stuff. Like there was a few mentioned in chat, like Indie Royale, that sell bundles for games that are recently developed or recently released. They're pretty cool games, and they're activated on Steam, and they have also Viscera activated games and DRM free. There's also another page I mentioned in chat earlier, Indie Gala, that also sells DRM free games. I think right now they have Euro Truck Simulator 2.
Oh, cool.
DRM free and Steam activated for like pretty cheap, like I think less than $5.
That's pretty cool. I mean, you can. You also mind putting links in the chat room too?
Yeah, I will.
Okay, cool.
Let me ask you. I'm back. Hi. I'm eating, but I'm going to pop in with questions once in a while. Let me ask you this question, ActF, since you seem pretty prolific on the sales that are going on, and you're a thrifty gamer, let's say. Kind of going back to that email that came in, why do you think everybody's up Steam's ass?
How so?
Why is it that gaming websites in general tend to focus more on Steam than anything else?
Okay. Basically because it's the most popular. It's really popular out there, and there's millions maybe that uses Steam. So, and even that's pretty much that started it all. So it's basically popularity. Though there are many sites that cover like deals and stuff that we all know, Cheap Ass Gamer, and they tweet. Well, I follow their Twitter feed, and they post about deals and stuff from a lot of places, not only Steam, like Amazon, Green Man Gaming. That's also a pretty good site for deals, even cheaper than Steam and Amazon. So I got the Brave New World expansion for Civilization 5 for cheaper than Steam has it. So it's a pretty great site too, and they also sell DRM free stuff. But basically, it's all popularity. And really, since all the games that are sold in all those sites activate in Steam, so basically it's like, well, you already have it, so why not?
Fair enough. I think also all the extra stuff Steam has to do. I mean, building the achievements and the friend talks and everything, that's kind of smart too. I mean, I realize like Desura has some of that and some of the other competitors, but I think that goes a long way too in making Steam a little more than just a store. Not that I'm, I understand that we should kind of, tip a hat to everybody that's got a really great sale going on, although I don't think we could ever possibly cover every great sale in gaming. But I think it is why people tend to focus on Steam. So, anyway, ActF, before we let you go, any other thoughts?
There's another site that I recently discovered that's called Groupies. GROUPE.com. That also sells not only games, they also sell music, and they have pretty great bundles.
Correct me
So
if I'm
that's
wrong.
another one to check out.
Didn't they also host the MagFest donation
Yeah.
/ award drive? Yeah.
Yeah, they did the MacFest bundle, and I bought that. It's a pretty great bundle.
Yeah, I mean it's always a great time for, every day is a good day for consumers because there's always so many new fantastic things, and some of them specialize in ways that may align with your interests more. So seek them out and support them. That's all
Indeed.
it boils down to.
All right, ActF, I'm going to let you go so we can get some more calls, but thank you so much for the call.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
All right, take care. Happy holidays. Bye. 1-877-GAME-OLR, our username on Skype, Orange Lounge Radio. I'm going to try to pull up the Twitter here real quick while I'm in between bites of my dinner. Oh, but we do have another call coming in. So, Jason, you ready to answer this one?
I'm ready to answer this.
All right, you ready? You fill that host role. All right, here we go. Another call on the line while I chow down on some sweet and sour chicken over here.
I will do so. Hello, caller. What's your name? Who are you calling from? Where are you calling from?
It's Ron from Brooklyn,
it's
man. What's up?
From that place on the opposite side of the U.S.
I sent you a card.
You got what?
I sent you a card.
Awesome. You'll be getting your gift tomorrow.
Ooh.
Appropriate for the Christmas spirit, the holiday spirit, the non-dominational spirit, denominational as well. Words are hard.
Some people like to be dominated.
Rob, you tell us something?
What's up, Ramna?
Okay. A couple of things I want to cover. I'm getting the hell up on out of here. Now, the whole PAX Diversity Lounge thing, I'm not happy.
This does not come as any bit of a surprise, but what's your take on it in addition to what we covered previously?
Well, as someone that's gone to cons for years and also staffs conventions as well, this whole Diversity Lounge thing, I just feel it's not the responsibility of the convention to have these lounges set up. If this should be done, let somebody else come in and handle it. Let the con have someone to monitor, and that's just it. They shouldn't be like dictating how things should go, because I just see nothing but bad juju coming out of this.
Especially considering the source of the drama is the con organizers themselves.
Yeah, I give them more or less a pass because I'm very understanding about various things. Some people feel that I shouldn't, but it's my thought train, it's my logic that, you know.
But you are of the opinion that this is something that should exist, just executed slightly differently.
Yeah, because I don't know if you noticed, like, there's been a lot of crazy shit going on with conventions. I mean, like, there was one con where a girl was sexually assaulted, and the convention just dropped the entire ball about that.
Oh, they sucked. I read that and was so pissed off.
Yes, and there are con staffers I speak to that run other conventions. About a third of them say that the con's not at fault here, and that really started a shitstorm. But that's for another time.
And this isn't even just a convention thing in the strictest sense. Obviously, that's where the biggest news and availability comes out, because this is a massive group of people, and things of this nature can unfortunately get caught in the not even the noise, but also the news, and that these little things have to really bubble up to become a big deal. Is this something? I've never been to a con that has something like that.
Neither have
there
I.
will be panels, but has there ever been a fixed presence in any con you've been to address these issues?
Not at all. The closest I've been to a convention where we had something like this was Otakon years ago. We had what was called the Black Cosplayers Social Thread. The point of this was for a bunch of black cosplayers to get together and hang out. It says, we don't see each other. But we kept saying, it's for everyone to join, but it's just for us to get together and hang out, because we don't see each other. That was going good for a couple of years, so somebody got offended and started the Asian social thread and Mexican this, and that, until someone came along and started the Aryan Nation social thread, and it shut everything down.
I'm kind of surprised that that there was another list of minorities, although I obviously get a fair amount of the reference in that last group that you just mentioned.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a joke to prove that everybody's being ridiculous about it. It was more like just to get together and have a good time. This was something that we were planning, more or less. Now, if the con itself had gotten involved, it probably would have gotten a hell of a lot worse before all this even happened.
Yeah, yours had a theme, but not an exclusion, not a restriction.
Right. Now, the whole diversity, I see the similarities, but I just see still it's going to cause a problem. Mm-hmm. It's like I said on a friend's Facebook. They diversifying everything. That means us folk, we're going to be at the back of the convention center on dial-up, while everybody else is going to be at the front of the convention center on shitty Wi-Fi.
despite the difference in medium, still makes a pretty significant difference. And yeah, as we said, it's only creating a prejudice zone because why ever people feel that they'll be there, it will only be these individuals there in the first place in large part. Anything else on your mind?
Couple more things. I want to agree with Doc Soccer about the whole DDR and exercise thing, because I did that for a while. DDR 4 times a day, took vitamins. I ended up dropping like 20 pounds, so I dislocated my knee.
Yeah, well, when I first, the first DDR that Dan ever bought me, the first one I physically owned that wasn't a burn was Second Mix on Dreamcast. And over that summer, since my birthday in April, I dropped something like 10 to 15 pounds. And completely, I had some torn tendons in my foot from college in Alabama and completely healed my foot.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, there is such a thing as overdoing and pushing yourself a bit too hard. As I think with any exercise, one needs to be careful. Clearly, as it was in your case, too.
Well, I dislocated my knee for other reasons, but...
Well, so DDR is safe.
Yeah.
You can...
I mean,
I banged my head on the monitor once.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to overstep.
Sorry. Go ahead, you.
Okay. When I got out of the hospital, my first thought was, well, fuck, can I play DDR again? That was the first thing that came to mind.
Yep. There was one time, and Rob, I think you were there, when I got dizzy playing... At the time, I was on 7s. And I slipped forward and hit my head on the machine.
I think I was there.
And then I got up and finished it.
That was scary, though.
I had this big red welt on my forehead. That was pretty fun, though. Yeah. I mean, I can look back at it and laugh now, and I wasn't scared because I was focused on playing. But everyone else was like, oh, my God.
Yeah, scary. All right. Well, Rama, we're going to let you go so we can probably take one more call and then wrap up for the night. But thanks for calling.
All right. Before I go, I'm just going to say this. For allowing Anime Jam Session on VOG, for helping us out and all the good stuff. I have here a shot of sake. I just want to say on behalf of Anime Jam Session to OLR, thanks for everything. Happy holidays and Happy New Year.
Well, I've got a glass of water. Jason has a Pepsi Wild Cherry, and Dark Sakura has her iPhone, and we're toasting right now. There you go, toast.
And I'm going to send Jamie a picture of the sake that I took a shot out of.
Nice.
Okay.
All right, take care, buddy. Have a good one.
You too.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Well, I am done shoving Chinese food down my throat. It was really good, just saying. So
it smelled good.
I'm sorry. I feel so rude eating in front of you guys.
Well, no, you offered, and I said no, and then I realized all I had today was a salad and some cheese.
You realized the mistake you made. That's all right.
It was just I couldn't see anything that wasn't sugary. So.
All right. Since I am done eating, I will.
Kitty!
I will take this last call. Hi, you're on Orange Lounge Radio. Who's this?
Hey, this is Brad from Pod Culture.
Hey,
Kitty!
Brad from Pod Culture. How you doing?
Peachy Keen, man. Peachy Keen.
Kitty.
Long time no talk, but I know you've been going on VOG and a lot of great episodes lately, so...
It's not that long, dude. It's only been a few months.
Kitty.
That's still a while. We hear from Rob every week.
Dark Soccer talking about my
Kitty.
avatar there.
All right, settle down so Brad can get his thought out. What's on your mind tonight, buddy?
Well, y'all don't talk too much about mobile games, but I had to call in and tell you about a mobile game that's kind of become crack for Christina and I here of late. It's Doctor Who Legacy, and it's on iOS and Android.
Yeah, you told me about that. I need to find this.
It's pretty much a Bejeweled clone, but they got all kinds of little unlocks, and you can unlock different characters and costumes and levels and all that kind of crap. And there's just something that it makes it like crack. You can't stop playing it.
It's the Doctor.
You know what's interesting, though, is that usually those Doctor Who games don't really get very good reviews. Like, weren't there some on, like, the DS or whatever?
Yeah, there was one
the Top
on DS.
Trumps game.
Yeah, Top Trumps, and that was all right.
Well,
and then there was one. There was one that was on PSN that was kind of bad. I can the Eternity Clock or something. I think of what it was. Those weren't so great, but this one, if you like Bejeweled or those kind of games, and you like Doctor Who, it's perfect.
I had the Mazes of Time game somewhere, and that was kind of a neat little partner puzzle-solving game.
That one, the controls were god-awful. I couldn't stand it.
I didn't mind it that much, and someone had gifted it to me. So I really enjoyed it, but I didn't play very far at it. And this has Clara, so I'm definitely downloading it.
Oh yeah, and right now they're doing they have an advent calendar type of thing where they release a code a day or a different level a day all throughout the holidays. And the one that came out today was for Sarah Jane.
I love Sarah Jane. She's my favorite.
Yeah, and it's neat. It's a free game, although there are, of course, in-app purchases where you can buy crystals and crap to, level up a little faster. But you don't have to pay a cent for it. And the developer's been really good at communication, because I've had a couple of issues where I've had to email them twice, and they've responded really fast within hours.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, well, I'm actually downloading it now.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's worth checking out, especially for free.
And I'm fairly addicted to Bejeweled on my phone, so maybe this will fill in my addiction.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't mind at all talking about mobile phone games here on the show, and especially one that I kind of think would be of interest to nerds out there. I think there's probably a lot of people out there that not only like video games, but like their Doctor Who as well. So,
Yeah, I just wanted to call in and mention that in case folks hadn't heard about it, and check it out. It's fun.
I do
Anytime.
have to ask,
Okay.
did you watch Day of the Doctor?
Oh, yeah, I went to the theater and saw it.
Did you get the sniffles at the end?
I was a little disappointed that we didn't see the whole... You talking about with John Hurt?
No. I'm talking about with Curator.
Oh, that was...
I sniffled.
That was a neat touch.
I had to dry my eyes. And if nobody knows what we're talking about, go watch it.
Oh, I even say better than that, Night of the Doctor.
Yeah, that was pretty good, too, because I love Paul McGann.
on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for the Christmas episode?
Well, anything that brings me more Clara is 10.
Anything that gets rid of Matt Smith. I mean,
Stop.
Matt's awesome.
Stop.
I mean,
No,
hey, there's
I
a reason
actually-
we named the cat Clara.
I actually like Matt Smith's Doctor, but I love David Tennant, but nobody tops Tom Baker.
I don't even really watch the show, but Peter Capaldi looks very interesting.
Oh,
a
he's
good
going to be a
choice.
great
Yeah.
doctor.
So,
Oh, he's going to be great, and the little cameo he had in the anniversary special was awesome.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
Brad, before we let you go, do you want to give a quick plug for this week's Pod Culture coming up tomorrow on VOG?
Well, it's just the second half of our Case of the Missing Geek series that we did because Christina was out of town. We generally do something to make some kind of smart-ass connection between what's going on in the show. But yeah, we're just talking about TV, and Glenn has his guilty pleasure movies that, this one's, it's bad.
I can't wait to hear it because I love me some guilty pleasure movies. All right, of course, lots of great shows all about television and movies throughout the world on Mondays here at the Voice Geeks Network. Critical Myth at 4 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Eastern. British Invaders at 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern. And Pod Culture with Brad right here at 6 Pacific, 9 Eastern. Brad, thanks so much for the call, and keep on gaming.
All right, later, guys.
Later. All right, that is going to do it for the Skypeline tonight. We're running pretty long tonight, but isn't that always the case here at OLR? We just never shut up here at
Kitty.
OLR. All right, Kitty's gone. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I have a midnight home.
If you blow enough kisses, Sanrio might come out. We'll see. Just kidding. She'll
She'll run
people.
away.
She hates people. I'm sorry.
No,
Don't take it personally with her.
I know. I've cat sat enough.
You should have seen her. Grandpa was over here yesterday, and I brought her out to say hi. Oh, she was not happy.
I bet.
Not happy.
No, I have a midnight home, and Little Miss has been quite the affection whore today. Oh, I've got the picture in my email of Ranma's sake.
Oh, yeah?
Which you don't do shots of sake, you heat it and you sip it. It's taken forever to load.
All right. Well, I'm looking at the Twitters, and a few of
Ooh, nice.
A few of the things were things that I had already talked about, or that one of us had talked about earlier in the show with some of the news links. I do want to mention a tweet that came in earlier this week from Red the Haze, and I have to remember, I don't remember the context of this, but his tweet said, gonna have to disagree with OLR Sky Dark Sakura. There are a lot of military service members on WoW, many with clearances. Don't worry, I still love you guys.
I saw that too.
Yeah, I can't think that we would have come out here and said, oh, military people don't play WoW, but maybe we had said something along the lines of, that there isn't sensitive people or something in there. And that is a good counterpoint that, hell yeah, there's a lot of service members that play WoW and a lot of MMOs. I mean, every MMO I've ever played, I meet service people in there. I think it's a great way for them to have some fun and let off some steam and keep in touch with people as well. So, thank you for reminding me to say thank you to all of our service people, especially those that are having to spend the holidays overseas right now. Thank you for your service. I think there's probably several that listen to this program, so thank you all. Let me go to a tweet from Dave Falcon, who tweeted us saying the Smithsonian Museum of American Art started collecting video games as pieces of art for museum display. That's pretty cool, and he links us to a story from ABC 7 News, and I'm trying to bring it up here. The Smithsonian American Art Museum is collecting video games for its permanent collection as part of an ongoing commitment to study and preserve such games as an artistic medium. Now, I thought that the Smithsonian already had a room for this. Or maybe I'm confusing it with another museum. Maybe it's MoMA.
Maybe it could be.
I might be, but I swear somebody showed me like a room, and I thought it was the Smithsonian, but maybe not. But regardless, they've acquired the 2009 game Flower and the Halo 2600, which was the Halo hack that was done, or actually it wasn't really a hack. It was like a homebrew game that was done a few years ago. It's kind of a neat little choice for inclusion, but I think that's very cool to show like a new game for an old console is pretty cool. Like that a lot. So yeah, hey, I think that's great to preserve that stuff as art. I think it's just a matter of time before we have like a video game Hall of Fame. The Metreon tried to do something like that, but then they went kaput.
Well, remember too though, there was that touring gallery that was a video game art, and I've got a couple of books actually at home.
Mm-hmm. Dart Tetsuya says the Smithsonian had that exhibit, so I guess this is more of a permanent installation there. So that's pretty cool. All right, that is going to do it though. We got to wrap up the show because we're almost to
I'm hungry.
1 a.m. on the East Coast, so we really have to wrap up. So sorry to the tweets I didn't get to, but if you have something for next week, please consider sending us an email, a tweet, or what have you. Mailbag@orangelaunchradio.com or twitter.com/OLR. But it is that time for us to go around and wrap up for the night. Jason, thank you as always for being here throughout the month.
As always.
I'm glad we could have you participate with some stories tonight. Hope you had a good time.
Not the first, won't be the last.
Won't be the last. We'll see you. And it sounds like, by the way, I don't want to give too much away, but I've been doing some texting. The OLR show in San Francisco, it's going to happen sooner rather than later.
That will be one convenient Sunday for me.
Yeah, and it will be a Sunday when you're here. So we have a weekend targeted, and I've been talking to Grandpa, so I think it's going to happen. So I will give you guys more details next week.
I could give you guys a tour of my office while we're there.
That'd be fun. I think it would have a
cool.
good time. I look really fun. Like, there's some gaming people in San Francisco I think would really love to come to the show. I think we could really have a little party. That'd be fun. Poor Grandpa. We're going to take over his place for a night.
I probably shouldn't speculate so openly like this, but if there's a healthy number of people, like 10 people either as guests or including the hosts, we could probably host it in my office too, because we have ways of making this happen.
We'll think of something. Yeah, we'll have fun for a week. But
ideas,
we don't
ideas
want to.
are bubbling.
Keep in mind, Loki's not going to be available that week, so we can't have too much fun without him.
There's also possibilities for bringing him on Skype and having his video on there too.
That's true.
These are not impossibilities.
We'll see. All right. Bobby Blackwolf wants to saying, "Can I come?" Of course you can.
Of course you can.
But
on your own dime.
Don't you want to try to convince Dark Sakura to come to Dragon Con and Loki to come to Dragon Con so we can have an OLR Dragon Con show? Because that would be even better. All right. Dark Sakura. Oh, wait. Jason, I got to get your final thought. What's your final thought for the night?
Stupid cough.
All right. My final thought is thank you, Alan, for getting Chinese food. It was really good. Like, usually that place is kind of so-so, but tonight was really good.
You need to tell Alan about your guys' present that I got you.
I ran in there during the break.
Which I'm hoping that Loki and Jason's presents arrive very soon because I thought they were cool.
Your final thought tonight, miss?
I want rotisserie chicken for dinner. I'm going to go to Walmart and buy a chicken.
Yummy. All right.
Dude, have you had the rotisserie chickens at freaking Walmart?
Not at Walmart.
They're fucking amazing.
Really? From Walmart?
Yes. Because they're the same ones that...
Wouldn't have guessed.
They're almost just like the ones from Costco. They're so good.
I would have thought maybe like Boston Market or something. But anyway, all right, that does it for another episode of Orange Lounge Radio. Have a great holiday, you guys. Whatever it is you celebrate, we will be back here to do it all again for the last show of the year. So you know we're going to be talking games of the year, stories of the year. Yep, we got to have ourselves one of those shows. But a lot can happen in 7 days, y'all. So we'll check in with the gaming news in 7 more days here at Orange Lounge Radio. Have a great week, everybody.
Is that 7 days?
7 days. 7 days. Good night, everybody.
You've been listening to Orange Lounge Radio. Orange Lounge Radio is a production of OLR Studios. To join us for a live show, tune into VogNetwork.com Sunday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. The views and opinions expressed in this program do not necessarily reflect those of the staff of Orange Lounge Radio or VOG Network, but you know they were all still true. See you next week.